Von Horton's former school district in Evanston, Illinois. The indictment accuses Horton and 3 of his friends of taking kickbacks from companies they own doing business with the school district. Horton's accused of also using the district's P card for personal expenses. Reporter Matthew Eady with Evanston Now says people in his community have had concerns for years.
And he's almost universally thought of to be the reason that the district is in a really tight financial state.
The DeKalb County School Board places Horton on administrative leave with pay, saying it's concerned by the allegations. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
Dr. Horton was hired by DeKalb in 2023, and the school board just voted earlier this year to extend his contract and give him a raise. One man is dead, another injured in a shooting on Ralph David Abernathy Boulevard in Atlanta. When police arrived, they found a 20-year-old man in critical condition. He was rushed to the hospital but did not survive. Police later learned that a 21-year-old man sought treatment at the hospital for a gunshot wound to the leg, and investigators were able to link the 2 men to the same incident. Homicide detectives now working to learn the exact circumstances of the shootings and determine what charges could follow. Israeli forces have begun their pullback from Gaza as part of this week's brokered deal with Palestinians.
A ceasefire is in effect in Gaza. Palestinians are cautious.
I hope our happiness over this ceasefire will last. We don't want them to take their hostages and then return to war.
Israelis are hopeful as they await a hostage prisoner exchange set to begin Monday.
Such a happy moment for all Israelis, for all the Middle East.
Tens of thousands of Gazans who'd gathered in central Gaza have begun walking north.
Deborah Rodriguez says U.S. officials will soon assist with the transportation of humanitarian aid into Gaza. Funeral services are set for the baby that was shot last month at a Cobb County extended stay motel near the Battery. Visitation for 9-month-old Isaiah Million McDougal will be this afternoon, starting at 4 o'clock at the Speaks Funeral Home in Atlanta, with funeral services set for Saturday at 10 a.m. at the same location. 5 men are charged in connection with the shooting, 4 facing felony murder charges, the 5th accused of evidence tampering in the case that does remain open. Well, we are learning more about just how effective this year's COVID shot may be.
According to Mehul Suthar with Emory Vaccine Center, this year's COVID shot appears to be 40 to 45% effective.
It's on par with what we have seen for the flu vaccine.
He says the shot will protect against the strains that are currently circulating. So when's the best time to get the COVID vaccine?
I would recommend that individuals, if they're going to take it, start to take it now so that they're protected during the wintertime, especially when we have more holidays with gatherings and Thanksgiving. And
Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta Pride Weekend gets underway today with a kickoff party at the Georgia Aquarium. This year's theme, Rooted in Resistance, which is paying tribute to the history of the LGBTQ plus movement. The 2-day festival is Saturday and Sunday in Piedmont Park. It is free and includes live entertainment, cultural exhibits, and a marketplace. The main event, the Pride Parade, steps off at noon Sunday near the Civic Center MARTA station, and it ends at the Charles Allen Gate at Piedmont Park. It is 9:03, and the Mark Aram Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, it's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We have triple team traffic with Ashley Fresca.
Hey, Graham. So we cleaned up trouble on the southeast perimeter, everything out of the travel lanes on 285 northbound at I-20. On the downtown connector, just a little bit slow coming up from University Avenue. Still some volume left over on 75-85 north. And updating the ride out of Lithia Springs and on the West Freeway, Chip Canellis.
That's right. It's a little sluggish on I-20 eastbound. Starting around Thornton Road, you'll start finding some relief around Fulton Industrial Boulevard as you're making your way towards I-285 there in Fulton County. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. A mix of sun and clouds today, staying cool with a high of 71. The northeast breeze gusting 25 miles per hour. An isolated rain shower possible this evening. Lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 76. Sunshine on Sunday, high 78.
Right now we have 56 degrees in Hiram. It is 57 degrees in Lithonia and 58 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:04. More news at 9:30 and breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
You got something against Hiram there, Graham?
What on earth would I have against Hiram?
You said their temperature very aggressively.
Well, it's a
58 in Hiram.
It's a balmy 56 degrees in Hiram this morning.
Anyway.
Hello to everyone in Hiram.
Hey, good morning, Graham Carroll. If that's any indication, I want to have fun today. It's been an exhausting week. Happy Friday, everyone. We have another monstrous show for you today, and in a good way. There's just so much news to pass along. Let me get you caught up to date on our guest today. We're going to have political analyst Bill Crane talking about the government shutdown, the impact here in Georgia. Travel expert Peter Greenberg's going to join us live. Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Barry Manilow. And sadly, though, this is the saddest part of today's Friday, Deborah, is this is the final day of the 5K a day bonus splits. You're not shedding a tear. I'm shedding a tear.
You want to give out more money?
Yeah, I love giving out
we'll ask your
$1,000
boss.
bucks.
Maybe we'll have some more.
All right. So in 1 hour, I'm going to give you a keyword. Again, final day of the 5K a day bonus splits. Your next chance to win $1,000 coming up in 1 hour here on the Mark Aram Show. Big story today, obviously, is the ongoing peace deal between Israel and Hamas. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
אני מבקש להודות לנשיא טראמפ על מנהיגותו העולמית.
I'll translate that later for you. I just wanted to let you know. You heard him shouting out President Trump's role in that ceasefire deal. We are going to go to Tel Aviv in just a moment. But I want to start with a local story. I actually got word of this story yesterday on our amazing WSB radio app. I got a push alert, and the headline was DeKalb County School Superintendent indicted, but not here in Georgia. Let's start with you, Austin. What is this story all about?
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting, Mark. So Dr. Devon Horton is the current superintendent of DeKalb County Schools, of course, a major school district here in Metro Atlanta. And yeah, word broke yesterday that he has been indicted in Illinois in a county there where he previously served as superintendent. And so just for some background, Dr. Horton's been superintendent in DeKalb since 2023. So these allegations of essentially financial fraud, wire fraud, embezzlement, tax evasion, some of the charges he's facing, they all go back at least 2 years. So these allegations stem from 2020 to 2023 in that district there in Illinois, where, like I said, at that time he was serving as superintendent, no longer, of course, now in DeKalb. But that's kind of where things all stem from.
The allegations weren't for actions he took as DeKalb County superintendent.
Correct.
It was when he was a superintendent of a school district in Illinois. The reaction from some of his former constituents, I guess, in Chicago or in Illinois?
There's been buzz for, since he left this district about what went on here. And a lot of people have raised questions and concerns.
That's a reporter from Evanston, Illinois. So what is is he still employed by DeKalb? Is he suspended? Like, what's the current situation? I mean, we're in the middle of the school year here.
Yeah, in the middle of the school year. The school board held an emergency meeting yesterday after all this came out, and they put him on paid administrative leave. So he is still getting paid, but he is on leave. And in the meantime, as of this morning, they have selected a new interim superintendent. That is Dr. Norman Sauce. He's DeKalb's current chief of student services. So he'll be serving as acting superintendent until all this kind of works its way out and we kind of see how things play out here. But in the meantime, no, Dr. Horton is not currently acting as superintendent in DeKalb.
Austin Eller joining us live in studio here on the Mark Aram Show, covering the top local story this morning on Atlanta's Morning News. Do we have any idea what the court dates will look like for this? I imagine that Dr. Horton's suspended indefinitely until this plays out in the courts, but do we have any indication how long that could take?
Yeah, no specifics at the moment, Mark. It's kind of unclear on that front. You know, the other thing that's kind of we're looking forward to as far as next developments, possible developments, is we haven't been told when he needs to turn himself in to authorities. Inevitably, that will happen at some point, but up to this point, we're not even aware that Dr. Horton has done so. So, no exact timeline on that. I do know, however, this was a courtesy of a report from our own Jonathan O'Brien. Governor Kemp could get involved in this. Normally, if you have an official like this that's been indicted, a public official, the governor can then appoint a 3-member commission to look at whether to remove that person permanently from their office, from their public-facing office.
And listen, DeKalb, it's been an interesting past in the DeKalb Board of Education and what's been going on in the school systems there. But as you mentioned, a huge school system, really big, and those are big boy charges in that indictment.
No, pretty serious charges. There's a lot of depth to it, so I'm not going to go into all of
Sure.
it, but a lot of financial stuff. I know one specific thing I can bring up is investigators claim he took about $80,000 in kickbacks during that time frame. So that was kind of the main specific point they bring up in this indictment. And supposedly, according to their investigation, he did so with 3 other associates.
Wow.
In Illinois at that time.
Interesting. All right, huge story. Austin Eller, thank you, my friend. Sorry to keep you late. You're now free to go. You have the weekend ahead of you.
Okay,
I
let's do
appreciate
it.
your time. Austin Eller from Atlanta's Morning News. Any updates on that story? But that's a big deal. Big school district, big boy charges. But again, the allegations against the school superintendent of DeKalb didn't happen in DeKalb. Those kickback allegations happened in Illinois, but certainly a story we are going to follow here on 95.5 WSB. All right, as promised, continue our team coverage of the peace deal in the Middle East. Let's see if we can let's go to Tel Aviv first. Jeremy Diamond from CNN this morning.
Absolutely, and we are continuing to see people flock here to Hostage Square in order to, celebrate this moment together of all of these hostages who will be now returning within the next 72 hours. And we know that timeline has now started because the Israeli military confirmed at noon today that they had completed their withdrawal from parts of Gaza. And once they completed that means that a ceasefire, according to them, is officially in effect, and also that Hamas now has 72 hours to return the hostages, which could put the return of the hostages as late as, but perhaps sooner than, Monday at noon. And that also suggests that President Trump's visit on Monday will coincide quite shortly thereafter or right before the release of those hostages. And perhaps we will see President Trump actually being able to greet some of those hostages. We know, of course, that here in Hostage Square yesterday we saw a lot of American flags in the air, a lot of people thanking and crediting President Trump directly for his role in securing this agreement that is not only going to secure the release of all of the hostages, but according to the president and the mediators, is also ending the war in Gaza once and for all. We are already beginning to see in Gaza how people are reacting to this, not only the celebrations, but as you mentioned, the thousands of people who are beginning to move along Al-Rashid Street, that coastal road in Gaza, to head back to Gaza City. Of course, before this agreement, we saw hundreds of thousands of people who were forced to be displaced from Gaza City as a result of that Israeli military offensive, and now many of them are starting to return home. But so many more pieces to the puzzle remain in the days ahead. The Prime Minister today suggesting for the first time that some of the bodies of those deceased hostages may not be returned immediately alongside the 20 living hostages. The International Committee of the Red Cross have said that they will be assisting in helping to locate and ultimately recover the bodies of hostages that may be under the rubble in parts of the Gaza Strip. And then, of course, there are the next steps to get beyond this first phase of this agreement and actually lead to the kind of final resolution to this 2-year-long war in Gaza. Intense negotiations still happening with Jared Kushner, President Trump's son-in-law, and Steve Witkoff, President Trump's special envoy, continuing to meet with the Israeli Prime Minister, with the Israeli government in order to queue up those next steps.
All right, Jeremy Diamond there from CNN in Tel Aviv this morning. A couple of big takeaways. First off, and we talked about this yesterday, Deborah, as far as the hostage release, that 72-hour window that Hamas has, apparently there will be no issues getting the still living hostages back to their families, but there might be an issue with the deceased hostages locating bodies. The Red Cross is going to help, but I don't think that's going to violate. If they don't have all of the deceased hostages returned in 72 hours, I don't think that's going to derail it because obviously, that is a difficult task. One other thing, though, Jeremy mentioned all of these Gazans heading back north toward Gaza City. He mentioned taking the road along the sea. And I posted it for our show picture today, an aerial shot of thousands of Palestinians walking basically on the beach, heading back north to their homes. It really, stunning image to see just how many folks have been displaced by this war. And hopefully they can get back safely and start rebuilding their lives. And also, as Jeremy mentioned there, President Trump going to head to Israel to greet some of the hostages returning. Deborah Patta is a CBS correspondent in East Jerusalem.
Israel says the ceasefire is now in effect in Gaza, and this means that the remaining hostages can be exchanged for 250 Palestinian prisoners serving life sentences and 1,700 more arrested since October 2023.
Yeah, there's been some pushback, but listen, this has been going on for as long as there has been conflict in the region. The size differences in hostage exchanges or prisoner exchanges, like 25 living hostages, thereabouts, going to be returned from Hamas to Israel, but like 3,000 Palestinian prisoners. I know some Israelis in the past would be like, why we do it? I think for this time to get all the living prisoners back, the living hostages have been over there for 2 years. I don't think there's going to be much pushback in that, but the inequity of the numbers is quite stark. Again, we'll continue to update this, but right now, all things a go. It looks like the ceasefire is going to hold. There are some areas, though, where the Israeli army, the IDF, is still going to be in Gaza, but they have let the Gazans know, the Palestinians know, hey, this is where we still are. Just don't go to these areas. Go to the designated areas. But obviously a massive, massive story will follow throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. When we come back, I mentioned the DeKalb County school superintendent suspension. I think this was in Georgia, not in the metro area, but a 12-year-old arrested because of a threat at a school being charged with an act of terrorism. We'll explain that story here in Georgia after a quick break and a check of traffic. Live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Let's say hello and good morning to Mike Shields.
It is Chip Canales over here, Mark.
Son of a gun. Hey, Chip, good morning to you, my friend.
Good morning. Let's start over in the connector over in downtown, 7585 northbound, starting around Pine Street, stretching past I-20. That's going to cost you about 9 minutes from University Avenue all the way to 17th Street, right by Atlantic Station. Elsewhere over in the east side perimeter, you got a slow ride, I-285 northbound, the outer loop, before I-20 exit 46 with delay stretched back all the way to Boulder Crest Road. Chip Canales, 95.5 WSB.
The U.S. is investing up to $1 billion to fight the spread of bird flu.
At the top and bottom of every hour.
Traffic congestion around Metro Atlanta continues to cost commuters.
And when it breaks.
The suspect is in critical condition after being struck multiple times.
Check back 3, 4, 5 times a day for the latest.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
With the cooler weather coming, you've got blankets on the couch, fuzzy slippers, and the cozy sweaters at the ready. It's Ashley Frasca for Ragsdale, and as temperatures start to drop, my friends at Ragsdale Heating and Air want to make sure your home is ready for colder weather. Plan now for a fall furnace tune-up and safety inspection. Ragsdale will take care of it for $79 and make sure you're ready to host all of your friends for the big games. And Ragsdale is offering monthly payments as low as $119 a month for a brand new home comfort system through October. Ragsdale is the name I know you can trust. I've trusted their skilled technicians in my home for years, and many of the technicians have been with Ragsdale for decades. That's one of the reasons why Ragsdale has over 10,000 five-star reviews and a 4.9 rating. I trust Ragsdale's 15-year parts and labor warranty on new systems. It isn't some third-party warranty. It's Ragsdale's own warranty. It's completely bonded with the state of Georgia. Schedule your next visit online at ragsdaleair.com or give them a call. Ragsdale and Carrier, turn to the experts.
We are here with the CFP Matthew Decker of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. And Matt, you have created a 20-question guide that asks the pointed and sometimes uncomfortable questions about where you stand in retirement. And you have to ask yourself, who is your guide?
That's right. Who is your guide? We sometimes think of retirement as like a mountain that you need to climb. And if you're going to ascend the mountain, it's important that you have a guide that has been there before, who has helped other people accomplish the same task. And we've seen that this is so important. There's so much value in the financial planning world. But if you don't know what's accessible, if you don't know what questions to ask, if you don't know what kind of value you should be receiving for the fees that you're paying, oftentimes you don't get it. So we created this guide to ask those questions and really point you in the direction of the type of service, the type of value that you should be receiving for the fees that you're paying if you're engaging a professional money manager or financial planner.
All right, so Matt, how can we get our hands on this 20-question guide?
We want to make it as simple as possible. So you can call us at 770-280-1488, All you have to do is tell the representative that you're looking for our 20-question guide. You can also go to our homepage, retireatlradio.com. You can send us a note there. Just let us know you're looking for the guide. We don't need your email address. You don't have to create an account. It's not protected by some kind of paywall. This is something we want to provide to you for free so that you can know, am I getting value for the fees that I'm paying? It's complimentary, created by us here at the Vincent Financial Group. Again, 770-280-1488. Ask for the guide, or you can go to retireatlradio.com.
770-280-1488 or online at retireatlradio.com. And join us for Retire ATL every Sunday right here on WSB.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Cooler weather, shorter days, busy schedules, all great reasons to treat your family to a Bullfrog hot tub from Brown Schools and Spas. The perfect place to relax and unwind. Only Bullfrog offers the Jetpack Therapy System. Each seat is customized to fit every body in your family. Now through October 20th, receive a free premium water care upgrade, up to $1,500 in instant rebates, plus special financing for up to 120 months. Brown Schools and Spas, celebrating 50 years of BrownSchools.com.
You need a real vacation, one where you can truly disconnect and be present. I'm Richard with Lux and Rome Travel. I take the stress out of planning so you can focus on relaxing, enjoying, and making memories that last a lifetime. From European family adventures to luxury cruises, we design trips tailored just for you. Be present on your dream vacation with Lux and Rome. Book today at luxrome.com. That's LUXEROAM.com. That's luxrome.com.
Fall is a busy time, and selling your home can be overwhelming. Get a guaranteed cash offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and sell your home stress-free and for the most money. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. With Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer, you can receive the strongest cash offer in the industry and move when you're ready. Mark Spain Real Estate has more than 13,000 five-star reviews, so you can trust the top real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home quickly and for maximum profit. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Let me hear your flow, sisters.
Hey, sister, go, sister, soul, sister, flow, sister.
Happy 46th birthday to Maya. Not my Maya, the singer Maya. Won her first Grammy for Best Pop Collaboration with vocals for Lady Marmalade. 46. She's older than my Maya as well, for clarification. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show, 922. Obviously, a bunch of huge stories. Coming up after the news at 10, we're going to go live to D.C., the latest on the government shutdown. Political analyst Bill Crane's going to join us live at 10:35, talking all things politics and the impact we're seeing on the government shutdown here in Georgia. Day 10, right, Deborah? 10th day of the government shutdown. I do want to update this story I teased before the break. 12-year-old arrested in Georgia making terroristic threats to a school system, Deborah?
Yeah, 12-year-old's been charged with making terroristic threats against an elementary school. This is down in Tift County. And the collaboration was Tift Police, the Department of Education, the Department of Homeland Security, Georgia Bureau of Investigation, and the FBI. They all came together because there were some things posted on social media. And, you can't do that anymore. If you're going to put threats on social media, whether you think they're funny or not, they're going to look into you. But this was specifically targeting a school, the Annie Bell Clark Elementary School, and law enforcement all worked together. They were able to track down the person. It was a 12-year-old who was making these threats, and they've been taken into custody. They've been charged with terroristic threats and acts of a felony. And, of course, because this person's a minor, they're not releasing any details or the family's
information.
So
the fact that the suspect's 12, we do no details about the suspect, but do we know what the threats entailed?
It just said specifically to the school,
To
but
the
it didn't
school.
say, like, I'm going to shoot up or I'm going to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
It's just said specific to the school.
So obviously, when you're dealing with a crime committed by a minor, it's a different set of rules and regulations, but it's often like breaking and entering or burglary or shoplifting, not terroristic threats. Does that trigger a different set of rules for a minor? Because at 12 years old, I can't he or she, I don't even know if they gave the gender, but they're not going to like adult prison, but that they can't just get a slap on the wrist with a charge like that, right?
Juvenile detention. I mean, this is where you start looking into the family probably a little bit more and maybe the history, because there are some children who have problems at home or
Sure.
troubled upbringings, or we all had that kid in school who was just like a troublemaker. It doesn't give any more information about this student.
Yeah. I mean, those are serious charges for anyone, let alone a 12-year-old. I don't know if you were threatened with this in school, but, you know, it was like, oh, if that it's going to go on your permanent record, kid.
There's no permanent record.
I think if you get a terrorism charge, though, that might be on your permanent record.
But they would threaten us with things like if you vandalize the bathroom or something, you're like, oh, it's going to be on your permanent record. And then I have friends that are teachers now. They're like, yeah, there's no permanent record.
I should ask Maya that if there is such a thing
Maya
as
probably has that
permanent record.
Yeah, secret permanent record.
I don't know if she's
file.
sworn to secrecy on that.
It's like the presidential papers with the UFO files.
Yeah, because that was a threat, a consistent threat in my school. Like, that'll go on your permanent record, and you won't be able to go to college or get a job. I wonder if Chris Camp back in 1997 checked my permanent record. And
you got an A- in penmanship.
Yeah, third grade. Thanks for bringing that up, Deborah. All right, the beautiful weather today, by the way. Thank you to Christine Edwards. I'm wearing flannel, which is the chubby guy's preferred shirt. That's why I like fall so much. And it's finally the type of temperature where I would consider doing some apple picking in North Georgia. I love apple picking, but I can't do it when it's 85 degrees out and you're out there sweating. So now it's finally cool enough to do some apple picking. I didn't think technology would come to the apple picking industry, Deborah, but here we are.
Yeah, if you like apple picking, it's going to be a little bit easier for you. Now, it's not here in Georgia. This is a farm in New York. Yeah,
okay.
It's in New York, but it'll, if it takes off, maybe they'll start doing it here. But they created a GPS map so you can basically see where you are in the field because these orchards are pretty large. Yeah. So it'll tell you where you are in the orchard, which trees and apples are the best ones and they're ready for picking. So you don't have to kind of be like, oh, no, not this one. Let's go to the next row over. It'll tell you exactly where they are. And they're saying
where the good apples
where
are.
the good apples are. And
Okay.
depending on what kind you like, because sometimes they grow more than one variety too. So you're like, oh, we got to go over to the Red Delicious. I don't want the Honeycrisp.
Where's the Granny Smith?
Yeah, I love a Granny Smith. Yeah, and so farmers are saying they have to adapt this new technology if they want to stay relevant.
Part of me loves it, so you don't waste time looking for the crummy apple, especially if you like a specific type of apple. But I'm kind of old school too, and that's part of the fun and the charm is wandering with your bucket trying to find. So I'm torn on this. As long as it's not 80 degrees, I don't care if there's a GPS apple tracker or not. I can't do fall activities. That's why I'll never move to Florida. Like, I can't be celebrating Christmas and it's 80 degrees out. I just don't have that gene. I want to go apple picking now. I do want to go apple. Do you take the girls apple picking, Longoria? Have you ever done that?
Oh, yeah.
Do they like it?
Yeah. We haven't been in a while, like a couple years, but when my mother-in-law could get around, we would go out every year and go out there.
I do like apple picking. All right, but that's in New York State, so not here. But technology is everywhere, my friends, even in the apple picking industry. All right, quick break, news, weather, and traffic in 3. When we come back, we have a winner of the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize. Is it President Trump or not? We'll let you know next on The Mark Arum Show.
Love your home minute from TE Certified. Hi, it's Chris Chandler with Josh, the local owner of TE Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. You know Josh. That's him you see jumping out of the back of their trucks. Josh, welcome back. Tell me something unique you've had at your home that's not top of mind for maybe the rest of us.
It's my whole home generator. This is one of my favorite things. I forget I have it until the power goes out, and then all of a sudden I have internet, I have TV, I have a refrigerator, I can open my garage door, my pool pump runs, I have heat in the winter, I have cooling during the summer. We've put in tons of these for people that have medical equipment, they have refrigerators, they have freezers, they have aquariums, they have pools, even people with wine chillers. But most importantly, we put them in for people who don't want to be in the dark when the power goes out.
We've had every kind of weather this past few months, and in the newsroom, we know the biggest problem here when this happens is the power outages.
Your power goes out and you lose everything.
Great insight to Josh. I just added a whole home generator to my wish list.
TE certified, we love your home.
This is Greg Trzynski of the Original Mattress Factory. I recently had 2 sets of customers who had vastly different stories. One had purchased elsewhere 3 years ago and spent $5,000, and the other had purchased from OMF 12 years ago and spent $1,000. The difference? Our customer's mattress lasted 4 times longer and cost them 5 times less. Don't waste money on overpriced, overhyped mattresses. Visit the Original Mattress Factory for unbeatable quality and value. Sleep better, longer, for less.
Do not stress about your aging water heater. Get peace of mind from my friends at Reliable. Mark Aram here. Check it out, guys. A new water heater, only $29.99 a month from Reliable. Or you can go tankless for only $59.99 a month and enjoy instant and endless hot water. Unbelievable service, lifetime repair and maintenance, no additional charges ever, no money down, and low monthly payments. Schedule an appointment right now at their website, reliableair.com, or call or text 770-594-9969.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good morning at 9:30. I'm Graham Carroll. This news brought to you by Dr. Roof. The government shutdown will extend into next week. As the Senate adjourns without passing a budget deal, senators will not return to Capitol Hill until Tuesday. The two parties remain at odds over how to address health care subsidies. The 10-day-old government shutdown could impact holiday flyers this Columbus Day weekend.
Secretary Duffy says airline delays due to FAA staffing issues have soared during the shutdown from about 5% on average to as much as 50% of the total delays at points this week.
Chris Van Cleve says White House officials are threatening action to prevent inappropriate use of sick leave. The federal indictment of DeKalb County school superintendent in Illinois has many families and school leaders asking what comes next. Dr. Devon Horton is accused of defrauding his former district of money and property, and he is now on paid leave by DeKalb County. The matter could end up in the hands of Governor Kemp.
Under Georgia law, the governor can appoint a 3-member commission to decide whether to remove a public official from their post if they're facing indictment. The law requires the indictment be formally received by the governor's office before the panel is appointed. They will then have 14 days to issue their recommendations to the governor, and if they recommend suspension, the governor will decide whether to suspend the official from their office until the case is resolved or until their current term ends. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
After an emergency session of the DeKalb School Board, Dr. Norman Sauce has been selected to serve as interim superintendent. Canton police bust up a counterfeit theft ring involving thousands of dollars worth of merchandise from multiple businesses. Officers were called to the Canton Target and took several men into custody for using the fake money. A search of their vehicle turned up nearly $2,000 worth of counterfeit bills along with drug paraphernalia. It is estimated they stole over $24,000 worth of goods in several jurisdictions in Georgia and Florida. A Forest Park woman is headed to prison after she admits selling 2 teen girls for sex.
37-year-old Virginia Ann Bates pleads guilty to human trafficking and pimping charges in DeKalb County. She provided a 16-year-old relative and an 18-year-old girl to sex buyers. She also got some of the money from the sex acts. The 16-year-old victim was recovered by Georgia's Human Trafficking Prosecution Unit in March of 2023. Bates is sentenced to 25 years in prison. Bill Caiaccio, 95.5 WSB.
The 2025 Nobel Peace Prize has been awarded to Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado. The Nobel Committee called to tell her just ahead of its announcement.
I think it'll take me a lot longer to believe what I've just heard. Wow. Well, thank you very much. It's an honor, and I know it's a recognition to our people.
Machado was disqualified from running against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in last year's election. Sister Jean Dolores Schmidt, the team chaplain for the Loyola University Chicago basketball team, who became a national celebrity during the school's 2018 Underdog March Madness run, has died at the age of 106, the university confirming her death in a statement on social media. The beloved Savannah Bananas are returning to Cobb County in 2026. After 2 sellout games this year, the team is adding a 3rd game next spring. The Bananas announcing they'll be at Truist Park May 8th through the 10th. A ticket lottery now open, and it will continue until October 31st. It is 9:33, time for a check of traffic and weather. We have Chip Canales right now live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Hey there, Graham. Over in northeast Atlanta, you got a stalled vehicle right now, I-85 northbound before North Druid Hills Road, exit 89. That's blocking out the one left center lane there as you're making your way into Doraville. Elsewhere over in Lithonia, construction continues I-20 eastbound just past Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. That takes out one right lane as you roll towards Stonecrest. Chip Canales, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy skies for this afternoon, high 71. An isolated rain shower possible for this evening, lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 76. Sunny skies on Sunday, morning low 53, afternoon high 78.
60 degrees in Ackworth, 59 degrees in Lovejoy, and we have 59 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
It's not as bad as it could be.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
Hey, the ladies are at home. Let's smoke cigars.
Eric Von Hessler.
Some sort of cultural affirmation. Yes, I am this kind of man.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Coming up next, we'll go to Cairo, Egypt, the latest on the Peace Talks Plus. Who won the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize? We'll give you the answer in 2 minutes on The Mark Arum Show.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with low prices in every aisle. Kroger shoppers never compromise. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Canada Dry. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey friends, it's Mark Arum back with you. I want you to take a minute and think about how many devices in your home are currently connected to your Wi-Fi. Pretty easy, right? Your smartphone, your tablet, your laptop perhaps, and then we get onto like the smart thermometers, the doorbell cameras, your appliances maybe. Imagine for a second if your Wi-Fi was a lot smarter. Picture it. Devices so in sync, you'll think they're telepathic. Really smart Wi-Fi that knows when your device needs a boost and shields your kids from online threats. All of that available through the magic of Xfinity. That's right. Wi-Fi is so important in all of our lives. Imagine how much better a smarter, stronger Wi-Fi could be. Imagine no longer. Jump on board the Xfinity family. Learn more at Xfinity.com or go to your local Xfinity store near you today. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change.
Hey, if you're bringing some friends over to tailgate this fall or cook out or having the family for Thanksgiving later, do what I've just done and call Wise Guys Pro Wash. They've gotten my house and driveway, my patio spotless, even the wooden gates out back. They even cleaned the roof, and I didn't even have to be there. The crew used the top equipment in the industry in their soft wash and kept my home safe and damage-free. You call them. First-time customers mention my name, Chris Chandler, and book now to get $70 off your first wash at wiseguysprowash.com.
Today's installment of Dang, We're Getting Old. David Lee Roth turned 71 years old today. The epitome of cool in the 80s was David Lee Roth. I mean, he was the coolest man on the planet. Yeah. I never saw Van Halen led by
Diamond Dave?
Yeah, I saw him with Sammy Hagar at the infamous Naval Base in Connecticut. What a nightmare that was. I've seen him perform solo, David Lee Roth, but never saw him.
You know, they played at Music Midtown. Their last performance in Atlanta was Music Midtown with Diamond Dave.
And I missed it. All right, tough question. You're our official musical correspondent at the Mark Arum Show. Better Van Halen with David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar?
Van Halen, not Van Hagar.
What did I say, Van Hagar?
No. We call in the Van Halen world, it's Van Halen versus Van Hagar. I will always lean to Diamond David Lee Roth. Yeah. I love some of Sammy's stuff, like my 2 favorite albums, 1984, 5150.
Yes, 84.
But when you look at like that glam metal rock scene of the 80s, Van Halen was it. And I just think he was such a showman on stage, and I just love that.
One more question for our musical correspondent. Country singer Alan Jackson or former Braves reliever Luke Jackson?
I'll take Alan.
I got so much heat. I'm so sorry, folks. I'm blaming the NyQuil that I confused Alan Jackson with Luke Jackson. So there you go. David Lee Roth turns 71 years old today. Let me play you some audio. The winner of the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize.
I think it'll take me a lot longer to believe what I've just heard. Wow. Well, thank you very much. It's an honor, and I know it's a recognition to our people.
Correspondent Rory O'Neill. Rory, good morning. Just played audio of the winner. What can you tell us about the Nobel Peace Prize winner?
Yeah, Maria Corina Machado, a Venezuelan opposition leader. She's been living in hiding for the past few months, fearing for her safety. She is in Venezuela fighting to overthrow the dictator there. She wants to bring democracy and capitalism to Venezuela. So very in line with American ideals. And by the way, little trivia question. Do you know who nominated her for the Nobel Peace Prize?
I do not know.
Little fellow, our U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
who, he's obviously been very focused on Venezuela. We have seen much more American involvement in Venezuelan affairs, those military strikes against the suspected drug boats tied to Venezuela. So, yeah, it's been that was an interesting turn.
I would imagine maybe the secretary's boss might not be happy that it was his Secretary of State that nominated the winner. Obviously, famously, President Trump has often said that he wants and deserves that Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, a little awkward, I think, at the next cabinet meeting. But and then there's also the criticism that the committee doesn't want to look like it can be influenced by President Trump, but at the same time, you can't ignore what is happening, especially this weekend. And exactly when they decided to award the prize to Machado, was it a few months ago, a few weeks ago? Obviously before the developments of this past week. So, that's in there. And it's not like, I keep on saying, this isn't like the Oscars. It's not like, you had your one chance last year because that great star was in one great movie and that's it. You can, he could win this next year, the year after, without doing anything else extraordinary. 3 sitting presidents have won Nobel Prizes in the past. Jimmy Carter was out of office for 20 years by the time he won the prize in 2002, and Vice President Al Gore won it in 2007.
Interesting. I should note for the listeners, there were 338 candidates nominated for the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize, of which 244 were individuals, 94 organizations. But again, the prize goes to Miss Machado. Is she still in hiding? Do we know, Rory?
Yes, we believe she is. And, so it's pretty remarkable that she's been available for some, remote interviews, connections through connections. But, it's a pretty remarkable achievement, I think, even as you could hear in her speech there, in that little clip. You could tell, I think, she was a bit surprised by the news. And as much as these are some of the most respected awards on the planet, question for you again, who won the Nobel Peace Prize last year?
I didn't know there'd be a quiz, Rory. I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Well, and that's my other point, is that, we all make a big deal out of it, but then are they really part of our lives? Nihon Hidankyo. It's a Japanese organization that works with the survivors of the atomic bombings from the 1940s. They won it last year.
It was on the tip of my tongue, Rory. I swear it was just about to come out. All right, great stuff. The award-winning Rory O'Neal. Rory, have a great weekend, my friend.
Thanks, Mark. Talk to you soon.
You got to imagine if this Israel-Hamas peace deal holds, right? And so far, so good. Knock on wood. We hope this is phenomenal. We get peace in the Mideast and a free Palestine and a secure Israel. That President Trump would be one of the front runners for the 2026 Nobel Peace Prize. But we were talking during the news break, Deborah, the fact that Marco Rubio nominated the woman that's got to be an awkward relationship right now between President Trump and Secretary of State Rubio. How mad is he that the person he lost to, and to be honest, I don't even know if President Trump was nominated or not.
I don't
know.
I feel like we would have known that.
Yeah. But if he was and he lost to someone that is Secretary of State nominated, he might be throwing around some little Marcos in the West Wing today. Like, I can't believe little Marco nominated. But as Roy said, it's not the Academy Awards. So I no partisan take on this. If the Israel-Hamas peace deal holds and there's peace in the Middle East, then I would imagine President Trump is on a short list of contenders for that award. Speaking of the Mideast, let's go to Cairo, Egypt, where the negotiations are going on. Nick Robertson earlier this morning.
It really is. So you can set your watches. 2 hours ago, the ceasefire came into effect. So by this time, or noon local time, 5 a.m. Eastern on Tuesday, all those 48 hostages, the 28 bodies of the deceased hostages, the 20 living hostages, they should all be released. We've just heard that the names of the 250 Palestinian prisoners who are serving life sentences to be released. That list has now been made public. Marwan Barghouti, the top ticket, the top political figure that Hamas has said they want to release, is not on that list. The IDF is warning the residents of Gaza, yes, there is a ceasefire in place, but do not approach IDF troops, do not go near concentrations of soldiers, also do not go to certain villages in the north, in the south. The IDF currently now controls pulled back to its lines, the yellow, so-called yellow line on the map, 53% of Gaza. So clear warnings to Gazans not to approach the IDF troops in those areas. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu just spoke in the Knesset, thanked President Trump, Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, but also said that Hamas would be disarmed, that Gaza would be demilitarized, that it could be done the easy way, by diplomacy, or the hard way. He also said that he'd told the IDF commander, the mission is not yet over. We're going to widen the circle of peace in the region. And they said his formula of military pressure on Hamas as well as diplomatic pressure has paid off. The ball is rolling. The clock is ticking. The time for those hostages to be released really is getting closer now.
Nick Robertson in Cairo, Egypt. The highest percentage of use of car horns in any major city is like every report. We go to Nick Robertson. It's just he's in. I guess he's like on Peachtree Street of Cairo, and people are like, meh, meh.
I don't hear that on Peachtree.
Yeah,
I've never even heard that in New York.
Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, we got Nick Robertson there in Cairo. Jeremy Diamond is in Tel Aviv. Coming up after the news at 10, we're going to go live to the White House, get White House reaction to, knock on wood, great start to this peace deal. Hostages set to come home this weekend. Let's go to London. Our buddy Vicky Barker. The latest global tally of the world's birds and beast lists ever more under threat.
The International Union for the Conservation of Nature's Red List of Threatened Species includes 172,000 species, of which 48,000 are facing extinction. But Chairman John Paul Rodriguez says without conservation efforts,
there will be at least 30% more species on that list.
But with more than half the world's bird species in decline and 3 species of Arctic seal nearing extinction, those efforts need to accelerate. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
Are we at the point where technology can do this, Deborah, where we, whatever 100,000 species facing extinction in Vicky's report, can we now kind of do like a DNA Noah's Ark kind of thing?
Like Jurassic Park?
Like the Arctic seals. Like, all right, they're dying off. Let's grab their DNA and let's just put it in a vault. They have the seed vault, right? We've talked about the seed vault somewhere where all the seeds of all the world's plants are in case, we have a catastrophic event. We can replant all of the plants on God's green earth. Are we at the point technologically where we can do a DNA Noah's Ark and get Arctic seal DNA?
And didn't Barbara Streisand clone her dogs?
I think she did, yeah.
So can't you clone seals?
I actually, when Bosco passed, I thought about that. I'm like, but I didn't.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. Yeah, there was a lot of moral and ethical things going in there. I also wanted to stuff Bosco, which turned out was not. Maya said was not a good idea to stuff your animals. But yeah, like a DNA Noah's Ark, polar bears. And just collect their samples, the blood, the DNA, so God forbid they ever do become extinct, we can bring them back, like they're doing with the woolly mammoth and the dodo and Barbara Streisand's chihuahuas. Thank you, Longoria. Yeah. I think I stole Longoria's fact of the day there. All right, we're going to come back, update our top local stories. Reminder, today is the final day of the 5K a day bonus blitz. I am welling up with tears because I absolutely love giving you folks a chance to win $1,000. Your next chance on this final day coming up after the 10 o'clock news here on the Mark Arum Show. All right, 9:48 on this Friday. Back to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center in Chip Canales.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit sluggish, Mark, out of Lithonia due to construction. I-20 eastbound past Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. That's taking out one right lane as you're rolling towards Stonecrest. In Norcross, you got volume delays along I-85 southbound starting around Beaver Ruin Road. You're stretched back to Highway 316. And here's some good news out of Northeast Atlanta. That stalled vehicle, I-85 northbound before North Druid Hills Road, exit 89. Stalled vehicles now cleared and delays are improving. This report is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders. Eli Manning reminds you there's nothing like football and King's Hawaiian Sliders. King's Hawaiian Sliders makes you a winner on game day. Pick them up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your grocery store. Chip Canales, 95.5 WSB.
Israel and Hamas agree to a ceasefire.
And Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed-upon line as the first steps towards a strong, durable, and everlasting peace.
Is a historic peace within reach.
There's huge momentum here, but this is no guarantee.
Will it hold?
Israeli Prime Minister calls it a great day.
For the latest, listen often throughout the day.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
Dave Baker here for Coolray Heating and Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. It's October, Fall Festival, spooky parties, and believe it or not, the holidays are right around the corner. So is your house ready for the good times, the little goblins, and friends and family? Is your HVAC system ready to keep your house comfortable through all that? No? Well, right now, with the purchase of a complete Carrier system, Coolray's offering 12 months, 0% financing, and free installation. That's heating, cooling, and free installation. But maybe your HVAC system's working just fine. Well, Mr. Plumber, a Coolray company, is offering $100 off any plumbing service. From aging water heaters to clogged drains, Mr. Plumber has you covered. It's perfect timing. Say hello to total home comfort and smooth flowing plumbing. Visit Coolray.com to schedule your appointment today. No busy signals, no waiting on hold. Choose the day and time that work best for you. Think of it as an early holiday gift. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Worried about market losses? If headlines are keeping you up at night, it's time to take control. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I know you've worked hard to save. But in times like these, what if can turn into what now? If you're planning to retire or are in retirement, you need a strategy that helps protect your future. At Trajan Wealth, you can capture market gains, protect your account from losses, and guarantee income for life. Right now, you could receive a bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. You heard me right. An upfront bonus of up to 30% or annual growth of up to 10%, all guaranteed to boost your lifetime income in retirement. Don't leave your future to chance. Plan with confidence. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company, DBA, in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Hey, I am Brant, and her name is Sherry, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine, and we were just praying for her, actually, because she had a major surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is Medishare. That's
of
right,
course.
yeah.
So what was your experience like with Medishare and your healthcare bills?
You know what? It was seamless, and that's such a blessing when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems, and let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in and it's just what you need, it's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. People love Medishare and saving tons of money. The typical family, I'm fond of saying, can save $500 a month.
I am so thankful for Medishare. It's so different, and I mean different in a very, very good way, Brant.
It is a good different. Call right now. They're so easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
9:53 on the Mark Aram Show. Tanya Tucker turned 67 years old. Happy birthday. Tanya, right? Tanya. We need complete clarification on name pronunciations. Is it, we're just going to stick with one. Is it Tanya or is it Tanya?
I always called her Tanya Tucker.
We had a former coworker here, Tanya.
Oh.
Like, we just need a UN resolution on, like, what are some other names that can be pronounced differently?
Any of the Bloomberg reporters that we have call in?
Oh, my goodness gracious. Anyway, I vote, as much as I love Tanya, our former coworker, amazing actress, let's just stick with Tanya and go forward on that. Anyway, Tanya Tucker turned 67, which makes her a senior citizen, which leads us to our next story. I love this story. It's called, so yesterday we talked about live-at-home sons. which I thought was kind of amusing. Now we are talking about adopting a senior.
Yeah, this is in Cherokee County. They have the Adopt a Senior program. And what they're doing is they're collecting items for over 500 seniors in the Canton area. And they're asking for donations like blankets and books and canned foods, non-perishable items, snacks, toiletries, even stamps, playing cards, magnifying glasses, all kinds of stuff to give to these seniors who might not be getting gifts around Christmas time. Maybe they're by themselves. They don't have any other family around. And so they're doing these Adopt a Senior programs where you can drop off donations at the Cherokee County Center from October through December, just so that they have something on Christmas Day to just kind of be like, oh, here's a gift for me, and stuff that they can use too.
And you mentioned, I think the key is if they're alone, right? They're widowed or widowers and they don't have children, and they're on fixed income, right? Social Security, fixed income. They might not have the wherewithal to go out to the store and get I think that's great. I would prefer if you actually adopted them, though, and, like you find a Cherokee
That's
senior.
what I thought.
Yeah, and you're like, all right, I got a spare bedroom. We'll take you in. Get one of those stair lift things.
Yeah, like on Gremlins?
Yeah. I don't know about Gremlins.
Yeah, a Craftmatic adjustable.
I was just thinking of the chair lift.
Yeah.
That was in I got to rewatch.
Yeah,
Gremlins.
the old lady, remember she goes up the stairs and then
I just
pushes
remember
the button and she goes out the window.
I got to rewatch Gremlins. But I think that's great. I actually talked to Shelley Winter about this. This was actually years ago before I moved into this slot when I was doing afternoon drive, and I just had nothing to do during the day. And I was like, and neither did Shelley because he was on after me. And I was like, Shelley, we should like once a week just go to an old folks home and go in and play checkers or, like spend some time with these seniors. And then Ken screwed everything up and moved me to 9 a.m. So now I can't do that. Now I'm exhausted. I used to have nothing to do during the day to the point where I
volunteer at an animal shelter or anything like that?
Now?
I mean, you never had to do that during your free time or anything? I used to volunteer at a rabbit shelter.
No, I didn't. I'm a bad person, Deborah. But my intentions were good 3 years ago. I'm like, Shelley, let's me and you once a week go to an old folks home and, do puzzles or play board games.
They think that Shelley belonged there with the way he used to walk.
They're going to sit him down.
He's got the gout in the hip. Anyway, but now with my new schedule, I for all the seniors that need company, email Ken Charles because I don't have free time anymore.
Shelley's still available.
Shelley can still do it. With his new hip and the gout's gone, Shelley's like a new man. Anyway, I do, all kidding aside, I think that's a great program, and I think it should spread past Cherokee County. But I think as important as giving seniors goods, like a new pair of readers, or what are some of the other things about blankets?
You're looking for blankets, magnifying glasses, even puzzles, games, books for them just to kind of be engaged.
I think spending time with them is more important than that, which is more difficult.
And they have the best stories.
Yeah,
get them
they
talking
really
the
do.
Best stories.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, adopt a senior up in Cherokee County. I'd like to see that spread throughout the metro area. News, weather, and traffic in 3. When we come back, the latest on the government shutdown and the Israel-Hamas negotiations. Plus, we had an indictment yesterday. Letitia James indicted. We'll tell you about that story. Plus, that's a lot of pluses. I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus splits. Another chance to win $1,000 minutes away here on 95.5 WSB.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-Ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the portfolio x-ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB. Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there. Good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Air. The government shutdown is now in its 10th day. Republicans and Democrats locked in a stalemate, and now senators have left Washington until next week. Bradley Blackburn has more.
It's estimated 3.8 million Americans won't be able to afford insurance without the tax credit, including 2 million by next year.
We're dealing with a Republican-created health care crisis.
For now, food banks around the country are bracing for higher demand from hundreds of thousands of federal workers who could be going without pay. And all eyes are on air travel, with the shutdown straining the air traffic control system and the TSA.
Now, the Senate is scheduled to return to Washington next Tuesday. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, is promising to keep his chamber closed until the Senate passes the Republican spending bill. All right, your weather for today. Sunny skies, breezy through the afternoon, staying cool, headed for an afternoon high of 71. Some of those winds could be gusting up to 25 miles an hour. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. In an emergency session, the DeKalb County School Board naming Dr. Norman Sauce, the district's chief of student services, as acting superintendent now. It comes after Superintendent Dr. Devon Horton is indicted on federal charges in Illinois.
The charges involve Dr. Devon Horton's former school district in Evanston, Illinois. The indictment accuses Horton and 3 of his friends of taking kickbacks from companies they own doing business with the school district. Horton's accused of also using the district's P card for personal expenses. Reporter Matthew Eady with Evanston Now says people in his community have had concerns for years.
And he's almost universally thought of to be the reason that the district is in a really tight financial state.
The DeKalb County School Board places Horton on administrative leave with pay, saying it's concerned by the allegations. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
We have learned services are now set for that baby who was killed late last month near the Battery in Cobb County.
The viewing for baby girl Isaiah Millian McDougal, as she's listed on the Speaks Funeral Home website, will be held this afternoon starting at 4 at the facility on Old National Highway. Her funeral will be held Saturday at 10 a.m. The 9-month-old was shot and killed while with her mother as the two were outside of the Budgetel Inn and Suites near the Battery on the evening of September 23rd. 5 men have been arrested in connection with the killing, 4 of whom are charged with felony murder and aggravated assault, a 5th with evidence tampering. They're all being held at the Cobb County Jail. Michelle Wright, 95.5 WSB.
New this morning, Sister Jean has died. She became a national celebrity in 2018 during March Madness. Will Reeve has more.
Sister Jean became a superstar almost overnight in 2018 as the Ramblers went on a Cinderella run to the Final Four.
I say a prayer, but sometimes there's a little more than talking to God in the prayer. But I do begin with, good and gracious God. I pray for the other team, perhaps not as hard.
Arriving at her office on Loyola Chicago's campus every day by 10 a.m., chatting with students and serving in her most notable role, chaplain for the men's basketball team.
Sister Jean was 106 years old. And this is not good news. More people are falling behind on their car payments. A record 1.7 million cars repossessed last year, the most since 2009. Higher car prices and interest rates have more buyers stretching their budgets and taking out longer loans. Experian says the average interest rate on a used car loan is 12%. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 116. At 46,475, NASDAQ is also up slightly, so is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We get a check of the road, and to do that, we turn now to the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Over in Marietta, you're still dealing with a crash. I-75 southbound just past South Marietta Parkway. That's exit 263. Still knocking out 2 left lanes with delays just past North Marietta Parkway. Elsewhere, over in West Atlanta, you got a volume causing sluggish delays on I-20 eastbound starting around Riverside Parkway. You don't find any relief until after I-285. Chip Canales, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. A mix of sun and clouds today, staying cool with a high of 71. The northeast breeze gusting 25 miles per hour. An isolated rain shower possible this evening. Lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 76. Sunshine on Sunday, high 78.
It is 58 degrees in Marietta and Duluth. Midtown Atlanta, you have 59 degrees. More news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Friday morning to you. Mark Aram here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Aram Show live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WS&B. Extended fam with us today. Deborah Green, producer of the program Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Down south, Vinny is off, so Heather will screen your calls in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus splits. Chance to win $1,000 here on WSB. Then we're going to go live to the White House. Latest on the government shutdown and the Israel-Hamas peace agreement. Later on the broadcast, Peter Greenberg, the travel expert, is going to join us live. And Deborah has more tickets to give away to see Sir Barry Manilow. Is this the last day we have Sir Barry tickets?
Last day, yep.
Yeah. I'm going to make that a thing. I'm going to start an online. Do they still have those where you can start petitions online?
Change.org.
Change.org. That Barry Manilow gets knighted by King Charles. We're going to make that happen. Anyway, your last chance to win Sir Barry tickets coming up at 11:37. In the meantime, joining us from ABC News is our buddy Stephen Portnoy. Stephen, another political indictment yesterday. Letitia James has been indicted. What exactly is she being charged with?
There are 2 charges, 2 counts in this indictment handed up yesterday in Norfolk, Virginia. It alleges that the New York State Attorney General Letitia James bought a house for her niece. We know it's for her niece that she purchased in 2020 in the depths of the pandemic. And the allegation is that instead of listing the house as an investment property, she put it down as a secondary home, essentially as a vacation house that she intended to occupy. Prosecutors say that meant that she was able to receive a more favorable interest rate of 3% rather than what prosecutors said should have been or could have been 3.8%. And if you add up all the interest payments over 30 years, the difference that Letitia James would have saved is about $19,000 when you add in the seller credit and the closing costs and all this. Letitia James says it's baseless and a perversion of the justice system, and we'll see how this all plays out. The question about mortgage applications has arisen a couple of times with a man at the head of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, Bill Pulte, pointing to people such as Lisa Cook, the Federal Reserve Board governor, Letitia James, and others who filled out mortgage applications for homes they purchased where Pulte alleges that they didn't check the right box and therefore they've committed crimes. The publication ProPublica says if you were to follow that through and look at the president's current cabinet, you'd see among its members a labor secretary, a transportation secretary, and an EPA administrator, all of whom, according to ProPublica, might have similar legal problems if the Justice Department were to go around looking at their mortgage applications. There's no indication that that's happening. So the picture becomes one of an allegation of selective and vindictive prosecution, something that James's attorneys will surely be arguing in court. James is due to appear later this month.
I just did some quick math, Stephen, which is not my strong point, but if I heard you correctly, $19,000 over a 30-year mortgage, that's $633 a year. That's the accusation that Letitia James scammed the system for $633 a year.
That is the allegation. And it's, remember when you take out a mortgage, it's amortized, so you wind up actually paying more interest up front. But the point is, these are not huge numbers. And you have to wonder how often a top federal prosecutor who sits above a very large office, and in this case stretches from the Tidewater region of Virginia in the southeast all the way up to the D.C. suburbs, an office that deals with national security matters and other things and run-of-the-mill crimes, why this would rise to the top as one of the first orders of business of a newly installed U.S. attorney, but for the idea that this is a person who, in the president's mind, had it coming.
Forgive me if I missed it while I was doing my math, Steve. You mentioned there were 2 charges against Letitia James. Did you mention what the second charge was?
First is bank fraud. The second essentially backs it up. The allegation is false statements to a financial institution. What's really striking here is if you look at the maximum penalty for this alleged offense, a 30-year prison sentence.
Interesting. What's the next movement court-wise?
Well, Letitia James will be arraigned later this month. She's been given a summons to appear. That it will be similar, I imagine, to what we saw with James Comey, who was not, marched in handcuffs in front of cameras, but instead essentially given a summons, a ticket, a notification that he is due to appear at this date, this time. That's what's happening with Letitia James.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News. Stephen, as always, appreciate your time. Have a great weekend, my friend.
You bet.
I'm not a legal analyst or a lawyer. This is very similar to the Lisa Cook story that Stephen mentioned there, the Fed governor from Atlanta, similar mortgage indiscrepancies. So if I'm hearing the story correctly, Deborah, Letitia James bought a second home for $167,000 and said that was going to be her second home or not her primary residence. Got the lower mortgage rate. Oh, my goodness, at 3.1% is freaking heaven right now. Anyway, but then her niece was living in the house. Now, unless she was charging her niece rent, I don't think, again, not a lawyer, not a legal analyst, but as long as she wasn't using that to produce income, I still think she's okay as having that as her second home. She's like, yeah, I have a second home. I'm not using it right now. My niece is living there for free. If the niece was paying rent, then maybe there's something there to it. But I don't know. Would you charge your niece rent?
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I charge Longoria rent, but I wouldn't charge his daughter's rent. Yeah, he can afford it. So I don't know if there's some clarification. Again, I am not a legal analyst. Ellie Honig, however, is a legal analyst weighing in on the Letitia James indictment.
Well, so it's important to understand the mortgage fraud allegation against Letitia James. There had been speculation that it related to a home where she claimed it was her primary residence, but it's actually her secondary residence. That's not quite what's alleged here. What's alleged is she bought this home in Norfolk, Virginia in 2020. She certified that it would be her secondary residence, but in fact, she used it as a rental or investment property. Now, according to the indictment, the reason she did that is because she got a better mortgage rate, which resulted in a savings of over $18,000. But as you said, Kate, that is a ridiculously low amount for a federal fraud case. I certainly would not have intaked that case when I was with the feds. The loss amount simply would have been just too small. I was a state prosecutor too. I'm not even sure we would have taken it at the state level. So that's the nature of the allegation. It does allege a straightforward fraud. We'll see if the proof is there. But even if it is, the amount is really low here.
Ellie Honig this morning, legal analyst on the Letitia James charge. I don't know anything about this. We'll see what the courts do. But I would imagine, Deborah, there are a lot of folks in the political eye or in the public eye that have mortgages, and they're like, let me recheck to see what I did. I don't want to get Letitia James or Lisa cooked on that. Yeah, $19,000 over 30 years. How about $1,000 from me to you? 5K a day bonus splits right now. Final day, by the way, of the 5K a day bonus splits. Your 10 a.m. keyword is, very appropriate, Deborah, lazy. L-A-Z-Y, lazy. Enter the keyword lazy into the WSB Radio app or online at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is lazy, L-A-Z-Y. And don't forget, if you get a phone call after 10:30 from a number you don't recognize, answer it. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. Keyword is lazy. Good luck, friends. All right, let's go live to D.C., updating the government shutdown and the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. From CBS News, Natalie Brand. Natalie, good morning. Happy Friday, my friend.
Hi, Mark. Same to you.
Let's start with the ceasefire peace deal. Obviously, step one of President Trump's 20-point plan going along swimmingly right now. What do we know this morning coming out of Cairo?
Well, I mean, there's still cautious optimism that everything goes to plan. And of course, now that we're in this 72-hour window for hostages to be released. That's because the ceasefire, or the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza to an agreed upon line, that has been completed. And so now in coming days, we are expecting the 48 hostages to be released, including 20 that Israel believes are still alive. The president, as you may know, is scheduled to actually travel to Egypt and Israel. He says he hopes to be there on Monday as hostages start to be released. And just to kind of express or highlight how important it is that this phase one goes to plan, we've learned that up to 200 U.S. personnel with CENTCOM, so troops, will be on the ground to help monitor implementation along with other international partners and also help facilitate the flow of humanitarian assistance into Gaza as Palestinians begin to also return to their neighborhoods after 2 years of war.
Yeah, seeing some stunning images of Palestinians walking along the coast, heading back to Gaza City in the north. 200 troops. Famously, we've heard from the president, GOP leaders, no boots on the ground in Gaza. Will these troops be in Gaza, in the region? Do we know where they're going to be deployed?
From what we understand, they're going to be at a civil military coordination center in Israel. Again, the White House saying, that this is not troops deploying, that they were there in the region and they're just simply, kind of serving in a monitoring role and to kind of help with some logistical support. So the White House being very careful with its wording there. And again, they are part of this international team at what we imagine will be, a coordination center set up to really kind of support stabilization in the coming days and weeks. And again, to make sure that phase one is implemented as the agreement lays out, and then also, again, to help with some of the logistical issues transition with Gaza as well.
Natalie, as you said, cautiously optimistic, but still a lot of things in flux. Do we have a firm date yet on when President Trump's going to go to Egypt and Israel?
So the president says that he's going to be leaving on Sunday.
Okay.
And that puts him there in Egypt and Israel on Monday. From what we have heard, there will be a ceremonial signing, an additional signing of the agreement that he helped broker. And then he's also been invited to address Israel's parliament, the Knesset, on Monday. And we also know that hostage families in Israel sent him a letter saying that they would like to meet with him again. So this is expected to be a very busy Monday. But again, it also could coincide with the start of the release of the hostages, which is expected Monday or Tuesday.
CBS correspondent Natalie Brand joining us live in D.C. here on the Mark Arum Show. Day 10 of the government shutdown. Any hope of progress on Capitol Hill?
Well, this is unfortunate because there's really not a sign right now of a breakthrough, and the Senate actually is leaving town until Tuesday because of, the holiday on Monday. So that puts us into next week without a resolution of this shutdown. And, the impacts continue to grow because this means that military members who are set to lose their first paycheck, later next week, it looks like they will, in fact, lose that paycheck. U.S. military, U.S. Coast Guard, in addition to, the other federal workers who were potentially losing a paycheck, end of this week. So people are having to figure out, I know military families having to figure out whether they're going to try to take a loan. A lot of military-focused credit unions are offering interest-free loans or assistance during this period of uncertainty. And, the question still is, how do the two sides come together when both leadership across both sides still remains so dug in? The Republicans not budging from their strategy this week of just putting the same two competing dueling measures on the Senate floor, and, neither side giving an inch at this point.
Final question for you, Natalie. Earlier in the week, President Trump hinted that maybe some furloughed workers would not get their back pay when they returned. There was some pushback on that. Do we have an update on the status of maybe some workers not getting their back pay when the government reopens?
We don't have an update on that, or the thousands of layoffs that were threatened. So again, a lot of Democrats are saying that these were just kind of negotiating tactics to try to intimidate. But of course, the news cycle, there's so much going on in the past couple of days, especially with this phase one of a deal to end the war in Gaza, that the headlines have just been all over the place. So, next week, when again lawmakers return, there are going to be a lot of questions about what is the plan for furloughed workers and for these threatened layoffs. But again, a lot of if you listen to the lawmakers on Capitol Hill, both Republicans and Democrats, there's not a desire to punish the furloughed workers who are at home not because they want to be, but because their departments are not funded right now as the government remains shut down.
The news cycle, as I say, Natalie, has been exhausting. I hope you have a restful weekend, Natalie Brand.
You as well. Thank
All right,
you
thank
very
you.
much.
Natalie Brand, CBS Live in D.C. When we come back, Natalie mentioned about troops not getting paid. I got some new information on that. Right now, though, we need information on the roads. Live to the traffic center in Chip Canales.
Yeah, we got a travel advisory, Mark, over in Duluth. You got a vehicle fire on I-85 northbound just past Pleasant Hill Road, exit 104. It's knocking out 4 right lanes right now. It might be a good time to start using Buford Highway as an alternate route. Elsewhere over in Lithonia, you got ongoing construction. I-20 eastbound just past Wesley Chopper Road, exit 68. It's taking out 1 right lane as you roll into Stonecrest. And some good news out of Marietta. That crash, I-75 southbound just past South Marietta Parkway, exit 263. That crash is now cleared and delays are improving. This report is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders. Eli Manning reminds you there's nothing like football and King's Hawaiian Sliders. King's Hawaiian Sliders makes you a winner on game day. Pick them up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your grocery store. Chip Canales, 95.5 WSB.
If you have the WSB radio app,
You have the WSB
all
app.
the notifications you
If
need.
you have the WSB app,
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
Breaking news in Cobb County.
All in one place.
We'll send out an alert on the WSB
The
app.
95.5 WSB app.
Download it from your app store today.
Hey, I have got an exclusive, money-saving, $29 offer to keep your family safe and warm. Hey, it's Chris Chandler for TE, Certified Electrical, Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. After my fall checkup, I have total peace of mind, and you can too. New TE certified customers pay just $29 for a fall checkup. But hurry, offer ends October 31st.
TE certified, we love your home.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Stressed out that you might need a new water heater and you're just like, oh my goodness, how much is this going to cost? Let me put your mind at ease, folks. Hey, it's Mark here. I'm back from my pals at Reliable Heating and Air. Check this out. You can get a new water heater for only $29.99 a month. That's right. No credit check and an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Or go tankless for only $59.99 a month and enjoy instant and endless hot water. Their water heater installations come with a 100% satisfaction guarantee, same-day water heater installation guarantee, or they pay you $300. And with their Comfort as a Service program, you get lifetime repair and maintenance, no additional charges ever, no money down, and low monthly payments. That's an unbelievable deal. I want you to schedule a convenient time for an appointment on their website right now. ReliableAir.com. That's ReliableAir.com. Or call or text 770-594-9969. 770-594-9969.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Hey, I am Brant, and her name is Sherry, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine, and we were just praying for her, actually, because she had a major surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is Medishare. That's right.
Of course.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like with Medishare and your healthcare bills?
You know what? It was seamless. And that's such a blessing when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems. And let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in and it's just what you need, it's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. People love Medishare and saving tons of money. The typical family, I'm fond of saying, can save $500 a month.
I am so thankful for Medishare. It's so different, and I mean different in a very, very good way, Brant.
It is a good different. Call right now. They're so easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Been wanting a new deck for your home, something that's built just the way you want it? But you're scared to pull the trigger? I can help you with that. Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. Right now, Ben Hill Renovations are offering special financing. No interest if you pay in full within the 18 months promo period. You're welcome. Visit bhrenovations.com today and schedule a free design consultation at your home. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
5K day bonus splits. Keyword is lazy, L-A-Z-Y. You got 5 minutes to pop that into the WSB radio app. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Natalie Brand just joined us live from D.C. The government shutdown day 10. No paychecks for the military leaders, but apparently there is a move to fund the paychecks, at least temporarily, of the military folk. This is ABC's Nicole D'Antonio.
House Democrats say they're willing to pass a standalone bill to ensure pay for troops during the shutdown. If Congress doesn't reopen the government by October 15th, it'll be the first time in modern history that service members go without pay because of a shutdown.
How about that? First time in modern history that service members will go without a paycheck during a government shutdown. The Democrats proposing they do a temporary bill. I think that would pass unanimously, right? What congressperson would want to vote no for a temporary funding bill to make sure our men and women in the military are paid? So yeah, hopefully that will come to. Hopefully the government won't be shut down and we won't have to worry about that. Hopefully you'll win $1,000. Keyword's lazy, L-A-Z-Y. 5K day bonus splits. This is the final day. Your chance to win $1,000 right now. L-A-Z-Y. Put that in the WSB Radio app or online at WSBradio.com/cash. News, weather, and traffic in 3. When we come back, speaking of the government shutdown, the impact here in Georgia. Political analyst Bill Crane live next on The Mark Arum Show.
Fall is a busy time, and selling your home can be overwhelming. Get a guaranteed cash offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and sell your home stress-free and for the most money. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. With Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer, you can receive the strongest cash offer in the industry and move when you're ready. Mark Spain Real Estate has more than 13,000 five-star reviews, so you can trust the top real estate team in the U.S. to sell your home quickly and for maximum profit. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with low prices in every aisle. Kroger shoppers never compromise. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, USDA Choice Boneless Chuck Roasts are on sale. Just $7.99 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hey, it's your buddy Shelley Winter here, co-host of The Car Guys with my good friend and brother Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Whatever you want to know about buying, selling, leasing, or maintaining a vehicle, Kevin has your answers.
That's right, Shelley. For over 40 years, I've sold, leased, fixed, and financed pretty much every make and model. I've seen it all. If you have any car questions, we'll have the answers every Saturday at noon.
It's The Car Guys, Saturdays at noon on 95.5 WSB, brought to you by Butler Lexus of South Atlanta.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Retire Ready with David Nicholas of Nicholas Wealth Management Saturday at 6 to get answers to your retirement. Nicholas Wealth is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies.
For many of you, it's happening. Your hair's thinning, your crown's disappearing, and maybe hair loss has you feeling your identity is lost altogether. Well, I got good news. It's Advanced Hair's incredible yet simple one-day treatment that starts regrowing your own natural hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. It's Mark Aaron back with you. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly subscriptions. They help retain what you have, but what about regrowing your hair permanently in specific areas? From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to their world-class physicians, it's not maybe your hair will regrow, it's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. You decide how much, how thick, and where. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, and I've seen their results, friends. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 470-660-HAIR. That's 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's news and talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. Well, after 2 years of war, both Israel and Hamas signing off on the first phase of President Trump's peace plan in Gaza, allowing a ceasefire.
At the White House, the president celebrating, calling the deal a momentous breakthrough.
I think it's going to be a lasting peace, hopefully an everlasting peace.
Right now, what's been agreed to is phase one. Hamas set to release the 20 living hostages early next week and the remains of 28 others who perished. In return, Israel releasing more than 1,000 Palestinian prisoners and pulling back its troops in Gaza to an agreed-upon line.
And that's Mary Bruce reporting from Washington. Your weather for today as you kick off the weekend. Sunny skies, breezy, though, this afternoon. Staying cool, highs around 71. How's your weekend looking? WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. Canton police bust up a counterfeit theft ring involving thousands of dollars worth of merchandise from multiple businesses. Officers were called to the Canton Target and took several men into custody for using fake money. A search of their vehicle turned up nearly $2,000 in counterfeit bills along with drug paraphernalia. It's estimated that they've stolen over $24,000 worth of goods in several jurisdictions in Georgia and in Florida. National Guard troops have been seen patrolling in Memphis, Tennessee for the first time as part of President Trump's federal task force. The deployment comes a day after a federal judge in Illinois blocked the deployment of troops in the Chicago area for at least 2 weeks. It's unclear how many Guard members were on the ground in Memphis or are expected to arrive later. The president is pushing to deploy the National Guard to several U.S. cities. Atlanta Pride weekend gets underway here in Atlanta today with a kickoff party at the Georgia Aquarium. This year's theme is rooted in resistance and pays tribute to the history of the LGBTQ+ movement. The two-day festival is Saturday and Sunday in Piedmont Park. It is free, includes live entertainment, cultural exhibits, and a marketplace. The main event, the Pride Parade, will kick off at noon Sunday near the Civic Center MARTA station, and it's going to end at the Charles Allen Gate at Piedmont Park. Today is World Mental Health Day. It's held every October 10th to raise awareness of mental health issues around the globe. This year, the World Health Organization is highlighting mental health issues created by crises like natural disasters, war, and public health emergencies. The agency estimates that 1 in 5 people suffer through a crisis, experience a mental health condition. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down, actually up 169 at 46,527. NASDAQ and the S&P are also in positive territory. It's 10:33. That means it's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Over in Duluth, he's still dealing with a travel advisory. Vehicle fire, I-85 northbound just past Pleasant Hill Road, exit 104. Still blocking out one right lane right now. No need for an alternate route right now. You're still good to go. Over in Lithonia, you still got construction, I-20 eastbound just past Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. That takes out one right lane. You're rolling into Stonecrest. Chip Canales, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy skies for this afternoon, high 71. An isolated rain shower possible for this evening, lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 76. Sunny skies on Sunday, morning low 53, afternoon high 78.
It is 60 degrees in Decatur. Jefferson, you have 60 degrees. Peachtree City, it's 61. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll live.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
Oh my God! The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app. The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 12 p.m.
גם כאן, הוא שב והוכיח את הידידות הגדולה שלו.
See, Israeli Prime Minister addressing the Knesset will update the peace deal between Israel and Hamas. Day 10 of the government shutdown, though, the impact here in Georgia. Political analyst Bill Crane live in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
Football season is here and temperatures are starting to drop, so Ragsdale Heating and Air wants to make sure your home is ready for colder weather. It's Ashley Frasca inviting you to get your fall furnace safety inspection and cleaning. Ragsdale's $79 heating tune-up offer will make sure you're ready to host friends and family this season. Ragsdale is the name I know you can trust. Make sure you never miss a game with a whole home generator from Ragsdale to keep you powered up even during storm season. RagsdaleAir.com. Ragsdale and Carrier, turn to the experts.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
You worked hard for your 401k, but if you've left your job, your money might be sitting in the wrong hands. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and it's very possible that the 401k that you have had for years has hidden fees and limited investment choices. But if you're no longer with the company, that 401k may be at the mercy of your former employer. All of these things could be costing you thousands. Rolling over your 401k into an IRA can provide better investment options that align with your long-term goals. At Trajan Wealth, we're fiduciary advisors that are held to a higher standard with no hidden agenda and no hidden fees. Don't let your retirement dollars sit in an old plan and don't roll it over to your new plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services are offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
I did it my way.
10:36 on this absolutely gorgeous Friday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. 30 minutes from now, travel expert Peter Greenberg joins us live. 1 hour from now, Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Sir Barry Manilow in concert. And then right after the new news, it's the last day, sadly, of the 5K a day bonus blitz. Another chance for you to win $1,000 here on 95.5 WSB, just like LeBaron Peterson did last hour from Lithonia, Georgia. Congrats, LeBaron Peterson just won $1,000 on the final day of the 5K a day bonus blitz. All right, joining us live as he does every Friday at this time, our good friend, political analyst Bill Crane. Bill, good morning. Happy Friday, sir.
Good morning. It is beautiful weather outside. And tell Peter Greenberg hello. Our paths crossed many times in the years past when I was doing a bunch of work for Continental Hotels.
I will do that. Absolutely. Yeah, I've got the flannel shirt on today. First flannel of the season, Bill. Let's start with the government shutdown. Day 10. Last half hour went live to D.C. with the latest on the national impact. What's the impact looking like here in the state of Georgia?
Well, there are 75,000. It's the estimated number of federal government employees that are on furlough. They have a pay period that hits today, which was the pay period before the furlough went into effect. After today, The question, of course, is will the federal government be back open by the next pay period, or will they miss 2 paychecks? The CDC has 2/3 of its workforce on furlough, which significantly impacts DeKalb County, City of Atlanta, and the areas around there in terms of the spending ability and the economic surety of those households. And the Internal Revenue Service has about, I think it's 2,000 people that work seasonally and through the year at their service center out in Chamblee, and they are 50% furloughed. And of course, there is the specter that there may not be back pay and that some of these federal workers may not be able to return after all. The FAA has had some concerns about sick outs among air traffic controllers who are considered essential employees. We have the busiest airport in the world south of town, and the FAA said if they start to notice dramatic drops in personnel on staff in place, they will be reducing the number of flights in and out of major airports like Newark, Logan, Atlanta, LaGuardia, Reagan National for flight safety and the public safety. And of course, all the public parks that the federal government runs, most of them you can access, but the restrooms are not being serviced, the trash is not being taken out. There are no docents or anybody who can assist or guide you on staff because they have also been furloughed.
Now, so obviously we're at a stalemate and the senators are gone for the weekend, so there's not going to be a chance for a vote there. Last check, I saw 3 Democratic senators, or 2 Democratic senators, and the independent King that caucuses with the Democrats are voting to reopen the government. We have 2 Democratic senators here in Georgia. Is there any chance they flip their votes to reopen the government?
There are supposedly 5 Democratic senators, one of whom is John Ossoff, in states that were carried by Donald Trump in the last election cycle, who, if the White House will make a modicum of commitments in writing or changes to this bill in health care, not the full restoration as the Democrats have been asking for all of the subsidies that are under the Affordable Care Act that President Biden expanded during the pandemic, that they will sign on, which would give the Republicans the 8 votes necessary. If any other significant changes are made, that bill has to go back to the House, where the Republicans have actually lost 3 more votes, and they can only lose 3. And by my count, they now have 5. They would not vote an extension again. The other thing I'll mention is even if they get this deal done, the extension the Republicans proposed only lasts for 7 more weeks. So we'll be back at this before the end of the year.
And apparently there's still 9 more funding bills that Congress has to vote on, but they are MIA at the current moment.
Yeah, what Mike Johnson proposed when he was elected Speaker was, instead of taking on these big, massive omnibus, multi-trillion-dollar consideration of budgets, that they would break the budget up into kind of logical sections: defense spending, social spending, judiciary, and they would then tackle them that way and have hearings and have a little bit more transparency than we've had in many years. Obviously, probably resulting in some more budget cuts, but that process had already started. They just didn't finish it, and they won't finish it until they come back in. There's pressure from a Georgia congresswoman to bring the House back into session, because although the government is shut down and the judiciary is largely inoperable right now, that does not impact Congress. And members of Congress, their paychecks are still flowing.
Political analyst Bill Crane joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Yesterday I played some audio, or maybe it was 2 days ago, of Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. I believe it was on News Nation. She's a mystery wrapped inside a riddle in an enigma, Bill. She has some very Democratic stances now on some issues.
Well, particularly in this case on the affordability of health care. So for the listening audience who didn't have the benefit of hearing any of the interviews, her point basically is we've got an election coming up. Housing prices are still unaffordable for most Americans. Grocery prices are still on the rise. And here's healthcare, where a lot of people that she knows and her constituents are paying several $1,000s a month in healthcare premiums. And already everyone pretty much knows that regardless of what happens, those premiums are going to be higher in 2026. And Medicare premiums may be higher, the copay that Medicare recipients pay. So she's basically saying the GOP should not cede this territory to the Democrats, and that they need to get at the table and come up with some bipartisan solutions that reduce healthcare costs and also provide coverage to lower and middle income Americans. I don't disagree with her. It is just interesting to see her this publicly breaking with the leadership of the House. I will point out she's not blaming Trump for where we are. She's blaming Mike Johnson, the Speaker.
And this on the heels of her being one of the few Republicans that are signing on to that House bill to release the Epstein files. So, two big stories in the news that Marjorie Taylor Greene is in opposition of the Oval on.
And there's a new Democrat House member awaiting swearing in who also is very active in that Epstein effort to move that to the floor and immediately release all records available that aren't sealed. And with Elaine Maxwell's Supreme Court appeal being turned down, there really isn't anything that's off limits now in terms of being released.
Yeah, and as soon as that Arizona Congresswoman is sworn in, she would be that 218th. Let's come back to Georgia for a second. Got obviously a couple of big political campaigns here for the Senate seat and the governorship. Got some big fundraising numbers in the last week or so, and all the candidates just basically hitting all the fall festivals right now, right, to try to garner on-the-ground support for their campaigns.
Yeah, that would not be unusual in the election year, but we are a year out. So you've got 7 Democrats and 4 Republicans that are out on the hustings. They're hitting different spots, which kind of tells you there's a little bit about what their strategies are. But on the Republican Senate side, you have the two that are, we don't have polling on that race yet, but are considered to be kind of the leading candidates. Derek Dooley, who has the endorsement of the governor, having raised $2.5 million or $9 million. I get the two numbers confused. You get 2.5 or 2.9 million in about 57 days, which is impressive. And Matt Collins, the congressman from the 10th district, raising a little bit less than that in the same period of time, but having more cash on hand. So you've got 2 strong Republicans, and then Buddy Carter of the 1st Congressional District earlier putting $2 million of his own money into his effort, and Clark Dean, the newest entry, who is a businessman in the Buckhead area, works in real estate, hitting a lot of the kind of the what I'll call the charity circuit, a lot of the balls and the festivals. He was seen eating cheese curls at a fall festival the other day, which I'm thinking is probably not a diet staple in the Dean household. So they're out there shaking hands, kissing babies, making their names more known before they obviously start spending millions of dollars during the primaries on television and radio.
To me, that'd be the greatest draw of running for office, getting to go to the North Georgia State Fair and eating the elephant ears and the corn dogs.
Yeah, you would be loaded up with free food, Mark. You'd probably be 50 pounds heavier. Most candidates lose money on the stump and traveling the state, but I have a feeling you might go the other way during an election.
I would certainly gain weight. Final question for you, Bill, talking about the fundraising numbers. The biggest number that was released, John Ossoff has $21 million cash on hand, and he's not going to have to spend that till the general election.
Correct. And as we've discussed several times in this segment over the past few months, the fact that there is a competitive 4-way Republican primary, and right now they're taking shots at each other, all benefits him. And he will have – now, we know we've seen in Georgia, we've seen nationwide, we saw Donald Trump. The candidate with the most money does not always win. But John Ossoff is no longer identified pretty much by anybody as the most vulnerable Democrat in the Senate up for re-election. He's even been moved off the short target list of the Democratic Senatorial Committee for additional assistance. So he looks better and better as this goes along, in part because he has no opposition and in part because the 4 Republicans are likely to bloody each other as well as spend resources before we get here next fall.
Bill, always a pleasure, my friend. Have a great weekend. Enjoy this fall weather and go Dogs.
Take care. Go Dogs.
There you go. Political analyst Bill Crane joins us every Friday in the Mark Arum Show. Bill mentioned in the government shutdown the air traffic controller situation. When we come back, could rural airports be closed because of the government shutdown? And what does the transportation secretary, what is he threatening when it comes to air traffic controllers? We'll continue our team coverage after. Hey, check out the Friday Morning Drive. Back live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center, Chip Canales.
That's right. Over in Lithonia, are still dealing with construction. I-20 eastbound just past Wesley Chopper Road, exit 68, still taking out one right lane as you're making your way into Stonecrest. Elsewhere over in Ackworth, you're still dealing with a slow ride due to volume on I-75 northbound between Highway 92 and Glade Road. This report is sponsored by King's Hawaiian Sliders. Eli Manning reminds you there's nothing like football in King's Hawaiian Sliders. King's Hawaiian Sliders makes you a winner on game day. Pick them up this weekend in the bakery or deli section of your grocery store. Chip Canales, 95.5 WSB.
A U.S. government shutdown.
Lawmakers appear no closer to finding common ground.
Means disruptions around the country.
And you'll see more delays, or you might see a cancellation.
And here in Georgia.
Essential workers still have to report to work at airports, including Hartsfield-Jackson.
What comes next?
That should turn up the urgency and the necessity of the Democrats doing the right thing here.
For the very latest, listen often throughout the day to 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Fall is a busy time, and selling your home can be overwhelming. Get a guaranteed cash offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and sell your home stress-free and for the most money. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our guaranteed offer is the easiest way to sell your home. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can bypass the market, receive the strongest all-cash offer in the industry, and close in as little as 21 days. Our guaranteed offer keeps you in control. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
Cooler weather, shorter days, busy schedules, all great reasons to treat your family to a Bullfrog hot tub from Brown's Pools and Spas. The perfect place to relax and unwind. Only Bullfrog offers the jetpack therapy system. Each seat is customized to fit every body in your family. Now through October 20th, receive a free premium water care upgrade up to $1,500 in instant rebates, plus special financing for up to 120 months. Brown's Pools and Spas, celebrating 50 years of BrownsPools.com.
We're having a party and you're invited. Join CenterWell Senior Primary Care for our free grand opening party. Come meet our care team and tour the new center. Plus, food, music, games, and more. Celebrate with CenterWell Woodstock on Thursday, October 16th at the corner of Bells Ferry Road and Eagle Drive from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Learn more at CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. That's CometoCenterwellGeorgia.com. We'll see you soon.
Dave Baker here for Artisan Custom Closets. Ever been looking for your favorite sweater only to find it in the bottom of the pile in your master closet, sitting on a wire rack, and when you put it on, you look like a waffle? Wouldn't be that way if you had Artisan Custom Closets upgrade your closets. Your clothes would remain beautiful all year. Schedule your free design consultation today with a certified master artisan designer at artisancustomclosets.com and reward yourself with affordable luxury over the holidays. artisancustomclosets.com.
Because we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see lots of lawyers' ads. Most seem to be bragging on results, but are they true or misleading? For example, in some cases, a firm may try a case even though the at-fault party has no lawyer, then brag in the ad about their results. My son Matt got one for nearly $50 million, but we never collected one dime. Some lawyers may say they got a result even though they were sitting second chair at a firm like mine, and even though they had little to do with it. Happens all the time. All that glitters is not gold. At Morgan & Morgan, our results are real. Visit forthepeople.com and go to settlements and verdicts to see for yourself what your case may be worth before you hire a law firm. Do your homework. Fact check. It's easy and too important not to. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Can you guys believe Halloween is approaching, Thanksgiving, Christmas? Omaha Steaks is helping you out right now with an early Black Friday sale. You can get 50% off site-wide right now, and you get an extra 20% off select favorites and more. It's limited time deals because it's the early Black Friday sale. You want the caramel apple tartlets, but listen, if you're just into meal prep or you're tired of the family arguing over dinner, you load up the deliciousness from Omaha Steaks. I load up on the New York strips. It's what I feed the guys on Sunday nights for football weather. Grilling, it's fantastic, and I take advantage of this discount as well. And then here's the thing. At checkout, you use promo code ERIC, and you get an extra $35 off. Minimum order required. The unbelievable savings, 50% off site-wide, 20% off select favorites for limited time for early Black Friday, and an extra $35 off. And all you do is go to omahasteaks.com, load up your cart. At checkout, you put in ERIC, E-R-I-C-K. Start saving real big today.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Hey, I am Brant, and her name is Sherry, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine, and we were just praying for her, actually, because she had a major surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is Medishare. That's right.
Of course.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like with Medishare and your healthcare bills?
You know what? It was seamless, and that's such a blessing when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems, and let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in and it's just what you need, it's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. People love Medishare and saving tons of money. The typical family, I'm fond of saying, could save $500 a month.
I am so thankful for Medishare. It's so different, and I mean different in a very, very good way, Brant.
It is a good different. Call right now. They're so easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Any man who must say, I am the king, is no true king.
I'll make sure you understand that when I've won your war for you.
Good grace. What a great character. 79th birthday. That was Tywin Lannister in Game of Thrones. Charles Dance. Dance is the actor, Sir Charles Dance. I have watched the Game of Thrones series probably 8 times. I watch it every year. I didn't get into the prequel.
There's another prequel now.
That's exactly. There's another spinoff coming. I watched the first season of the prequel, and then I was like, man, I'm good. It doesn't capture the magic of the original Game of Thrones. But anyway, Tywin Lannister turned 79 years old today. All right, continuing our coverage of the government shutdown. We just had Bill Crane on there talking about the situation with air traffic controllers. 2 related stories, Deborah. Let's start with MTV Real World's Sean Duffy, our transportation secretary. He says he might fire air traffic controllers.
Yeah, Real World Boston cast member or transportation secretary Sean Duffy, however you remember him. He's saying he's going to fire the problem children that are air traffic controllers. Basically, since the government shut down, they're considered essential workers, so they're supposed to show up even though they're not getting paid. Well, a lot of them have been calling out sick or just not showing up, which, I mean, if you have sick days, technically you're entitled to use them. But, you know, he's saying that this is, there's a process and a procedure to deal with the inappropriate use of sick days, and the National Air Traffic Controllers Association says, hey, we don't support this or condone this. If people are calling in sick, it's not because we're planning it. They're doing it on their own. But he's threatening to fire those people, which would make even less air traffic
That's what I'm saying. There's already a shortage. There's already a massive shortage. And God forbid, like I never take sick days. I had to take one last week. Sometimes you get sick, and Real World Boston dude is going to fire these air traffic controllers. I can't believe that. So if Real World Boston guy is the transportation secretary, I don't know if you saw this story, but there's still an opening for the MARTA CEO.
Is that going to be Puck?
No, it should be me. If Sean Duffy can be the transportation secretary, I should be the CEO of MARTA. I've got more transportation experience than.
That is true. How many years have you spent doing traffic around the city? That's a good point. Yeah. You've used a Waymo now?
Yes, I've done the driverless Waymo. And I'm not throwing shade. You're the president. You can appoint anyone. But I have more transportation experience than Sean Duffy did prior to him being named the department.
You weren't on the Real World.
I was not on the Real World. I was not. Trying to think if Governor Kemp becomes elected president. I've been angling for the Japanese ambassadorship.
That'd be pretty sweet.
But I could also be Department Transportation Secretary. I could also Governor Kemp, if you're listening, I'm fine. I'd prefer the Japanese ambassadorship, but if you want me to be with my 25 years of transportation expertise, your transportation secretary, I would be happy to take the reins in a Kemp administration. One more, rural airport closures. This impacts me. I grew up with a bunch of these little small airports all around where I grew up in Connecticut. I know there's a ton of them here. These could be closed because of the government shutdown.
Yeah, so here at Hartsfield-Jackson, we might have a little bit longer lines at TSA, but I don't really think it's affected us too much. I haven't heard anything about like a lot of flights being canceled, but for some of these small isolated communities, particularly Alaska is what they're saying, if they don't have airports, I mean, they shut down altogether, which, I mean, sucks if you're traveling, but this also cuts things for like medical care, overall supplies to those areas that don't necessarily have roads in and out. And with winter coming to some of those northern places, you can be stuck there for a long time, and they really rely on airports and those small airports to kind of bring everything to them.
Did they say how many airports? Because I think it was over like 100.
It says over 170 throughout, and every state would be affected, not just the northern states. Like every state has a small airport somewhere.
The airport that was near my hometown, it was in Harwinton, Connecticut. It was called Johnny Cake Airport, and it's gone now. Like it's just a grass field. Actually, I think they put it in a driving range there or something. But that used to be like Johnny Cake Airport, Harwinton, Connecticut. Rest in peace. All right, getting word on the government shutdown. Speaker Mike Johnson moments ago.
We're not in a good mood here in the Capitol. It's a somber day. Today marks the first day federal workers across America will receive a partial paycheck thanks to Democrats' obstruction to the system here.
Speaker Mike Johnson will continue our coverage of the government shutdown. Travel expert Peter Greenberg is going to join us live, apropos talking about the air traffic control issues and those small rural airport closures. The big story, though, the ceasefire is in place. The Israel-Hamas deal, step one of President Trump's plan. We'll go back to Cairo, go back to Tel Aviv. We'll go to the D.C. area. President Trump will be heading to both Egypt and Israel on Sunday. continuous coverage of the historic peace deal between Israel and Hamas throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. News, weather, and traffic in under 3. Social media is up and active during the broadcast at Mark Airman at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's the Love Your Home Minute from TE Certified. Hi, it's Chris Chandler with Josh, the local owner of TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. You know, that's him you see jumping out of the back of their trucks. Josh, what should I be doing to love my home right now?
Seasonal HVAC maintenance.
About that time.
Absolutely. Our HVAC systems work hard for us all year round, and every once in a while we need to show them a little love too. So we need to come out, change your filters, clean the drain line, check all the electrical and gas connections, check the refrigerant, and make sure the settings are in tip-top shape for this season. This is going to make you more comfortable in your home. This is going to help you save energy, and of course it's going to keep you from having any of those bad breakdowns that happen at the worst time.
So it keeps you comfy for sure. What are some of the other benefits of the seasonal maintenance?
Well, absolutely, it's going to save money because an efficient system is going to use less energy as it runs.
All right, excellent, Josh. I am so glad I had TE maintain my system. It certainly helped me love my home.
TE certified, we love your home.
Hey, check it out. A new discovery found a massive trove of gold coins in the Czech Republic, minted by a long-lost civilization. It's from before the 2nd century BC. They also found silver coins among the artifacts. Not only have gold and silver been valued for thousands of years, but they can physically last that long as well. Just another reason why I have partnered with the award-winning company Goldco. I'm also a customer. Now, they sell gold and silver, and they're great at what they do. So if you're ready to learn how gold and silver can help protect your savings, call now, 855-815-GOLD. On the web, it's HannityGold.com. They'll send you a free 2025 gold and silver kit. You can do your own due diligence and learn how you can get 10% in free bonus silver. It is the best silver offer out there. Don't miss this one. 855-815-GOLD or HannityGold.com. One more time, 855-815-GOLD or HannityGold.com.
News, weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 11 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. Let's start with your money. More Americans are falling behind on their car payments. Correspondent Michael Wallace has more.
More than 6% of subprime auto loans are 60 days or more overdue. That's a record. 1.7 million cars were repossessed last year, the most since 2009, the Great Recession. Higher car prices and interest rates have more buyers stretching their budgets and taking out longer loans. Some can't keep up. Consumer Reports Autos editor Keith Barry.
Get pre-approved for a loan, put down as much money as you can, and avoid those long-term loans.
Experience says the average interest rate on a used car loan is 12%.
All right, so your weather for today, sunny, breezy through the afternoon hours, staying cool, not headed too warm today, only around 71, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards, and some of those winds could be gusting up to 25 miles an hour. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. There is breaking news right now out of Tennessee. At least one person feared dead, several others injured or missing after an explosion at a munitions manufacturing facility. This is west of Nashville, Tennessee. It appears the blast appeared it's called the Accurate Energetic Systems. That's the place where this happened. It occurred in an area where explosive materials are mixed and stored. Emergency responders on the scene. They've set up a perimeter and closed nearby roads as firefighters are looking to help put out that secondary fire around the plant. Hazardous material specialist also on hand. The site has a history of accidents, including back in 2018, an incident that resulted in casualties back then. So that's happening right now out of Tennessee. Israel's cabinet has ratified the first phase of a U.S. brokered peace deal with Hamas, and a ceasefire is now in effect. Richard Engel reporting that the Israeli military says troops have pulled back from parts of the Gaza Strip.
Hamas has 3 days to gather and free all of its hostages, 20 believed to be alive and 28 bodies, and eventually give up power. President Trump says he's confident the deal will hold and that Palestinians will be able to rebuild.
Now, President Trump expected to travel to Egypt for a formal signing of the deal. There are multiple reports that the U.S. is planning to send as many as 200 troops to Israel to monitor the ceasefire agreement. Funeral services are set for that baby that was shot last month at a Cobb County extended stay motel near the Battery. Visitation for 9-month-old Isaiah McDougal will be this afternoon starting at 4 o'clock at the Speaks Funeral Home in Atlanta. The funeral service is set for Saturday at 10 a.m. at that same location. 5 men charged in connection with that shooting. Atlanta police need your help in identifying 2 women who they say were involved in an armed robbery at a beauty supply store on MLK Tuesday. On video that's just being released this morning, the suspects are seen running from that location with the victim's cell phone. They use pepper spray on the victim. Anybody with information being asked to call Crime Stoppers. And one federal agency is bringing back some employees who were furloughed because of the government shutdown. The Bureau of Labor Statistics recalling some people so that it can publish the Consumer Price Index for September. The government needs that key inflation report to calculate the annual cost of living adjustments to Social Security payments, which have to be announced by November 1st. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger says the Federal Reserve needs the CPI as it considers another interest rate cut.
Without those data points, the Fed is flying blind.
And the next interest rate decision from the Fed is set for October 29th. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P are all down more than 0.5%. In fact, the NASDAQ is down more than a full percent here at 11:04. It's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Right now on the east side perimeter, you're still dealing with some volume delays. I-285 northbound, the outer loop starting around Highway 78. You're going to find relief just after La Vista Road there. Elsewhere over in Lithonia, construction continues. I-20 eastbound just past Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. That knocks out one right lane as you roll into Stonecrest. Chip Canales, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. A mix of sun and clouds today, staying cool with a high of 71. The northeast breeze gusting 25 miles per hour. An isolated rain shower possible this evening. Lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 76. Sunshine on Sunday, high 78.
62 degrees in Canton and Sandy Springs. Loganville has 61 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I'll run this town to be near you.
11:04 on this fast-moving news day, Friday. Welcome back, friends. Mark, Aram, and crew with you till noon. A lot of big stories we're following here. The Israel-Hamas peace deal, ceasefire in place. President Trump's going to head to the region on Sunday. We expect all hostages to be released in the next 72 hours. Big local stories here. The DeKalb County school superintendent indicted in allegations of misappropriation of funds when he was a superintendent in Illinois. A big local story we're following. And, of course, day 10 of the government shutdown. Joining us live on the show, always an honor and a privilege, travel expert Peter Greenberg joining us from beautiful Carmel, Florida. California, rather. Good morning, Peter. How are you, sir?
Yes, it is Carmel, California, Mark.
I remember that do you remember the Chevy Chase movie with Goldie Hawn, Seems Like Old Times?
Yeah.
Yes, that was the first time Mark Aram ever heard of Carmel, California, but beautiful, beautiful country out there. Peter, the government shut down. You have not shut down, though. Let's talk about it. Day 10, we talked earlier, last segment, there could be hundreds of rural airports shut down. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says he might fire air traffic controllers that have been calling in, quote, sick. The travel impact of the shutdown, it's not a small one.
No, it's not, and it's growing by the hour. The whole idea of the smaller airports closing is because so many of them depend on something called EAS. It's called Essential Air Services. It's a government fund that gives all sorts of contributions to the smaller airports. That money's been cut off, so it's only a matter of time before they have to shut operations. At the bigger airports, they have staffing problems that preceded the shutdown, and it's only going to get worse because as these are essential workers, we're talking about air traffic controllers, TSA agents, of course, U.S. Customs and Border Protection. They are working, but they're not being paid, and it's only a matter of time. It's already started when a lot of these folks are starting to call in sick. This happened, by the way, during the last government shutdown, and it actually pivoted and basically propelled the government to get back up in shape because the air traffic system in America was being threatened. We're going to see this. We already saw this happen last week at the Burbank Tower in California, where they were without controllers for 6 hours, and they had to have the San Diego Tower step in and help them. That's a safety procedure that's in place but can't be sustained, and we're seeing that more and more across the country. What that means to travelers is that you're going to see a diminished flow of traffic, meaning more delays, more cancellations, because the controllers cannot handle the flow, the load, and the frequency.
Yeah, we've been covering that here, but I was curious about the impact on TSA, and I've been monitoring the security lines at the world's busiest Hartsfield-Jackson, and it really hasn't been that bad. Like right now, all in the green, only 4-minute wait through the main checkpoint, 10 minutes through the north checkpoint. So at least here, anecdotally in Atlanta, we have not seen extra delays, as far as I can tell, through TSA checkpoints.
You might not see them right away at Atlanta, but you will see them at other airports where they don't have as many staff to play from. That's number one. Number two, you're going to see impacts on airfares too, because you're going to have flights being consolidated. You're going to have frequencies being lowered, and as a result, it's law of supply and demand. Airfares might go up.
So for the listeners that are travel-centric or might have, I think some schools have fall break coming up, any word of advice for folks that are going to be flying and doing some either business or vacation travel over the next, at least until the government's reopen?
Well, if you look at the two big push times for any day, which is between 6 and 9 a.m. or between 4 and 7 p.m., that's where your biggest amount of traffic happens. That's where the cuts are going to happen. So if you're on flights within those two time windows, call your airline ahead of time and look for alternate flights, because those are the ones that will be the most delayed.
Right, real quick, back to the air traffic controller situation, Peter. I mentioned that Transportation Secretary Duffy says he might fire those air traffic controllers that are calling in sick. Is that a legitimate threat or an empty threat, considering there's already such a massive shortage of air traffic controllers?
Well, history should be some indication here, so let me ask the rhetorical question. And replaced by who?
AI?
You're right. Remember, there's something else that's on hold right now. You may remember that just 2 weeks ago, the FAA proudly announced they'd reached their goal of hiring 2,000 new air traffic controllers. That's great, except there's a 2 to 3 year learning curve for those folks to be able to sit at a console. And by the way, that training, as well as FAA safety inspections of maintenance, of production lines, that's on hold right now. So he's not going to be replacing it with anybody. That's not a real good short or long-term solution by firing him.
Travel expert Peter Greenberg joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. Peter, I'd say 1 out of 25 flights, I actually recline my seat. I am an anti-recliner. I don't want to, discomfort the folks behind me. I'm often reclined on, though, by the people sitting in front of me. I thought this was an amusing story. There's an airline now that is going to charge folks if they want to recline their seats.
Wait a minute. I got to go back and ask you a question. If you do recline, it only goes back a half an inch anyway. Who's kidding who?
I'm just a very, I'm very empathetic. I don't want to inconvenience anyone by leaning
Yes, but in the old days, they actually reclined. Now it's all ornamental. We did a video last year of a brand new Airbus 320 on British Air. When I pushed the button, it literally reclined a millimeter.
Well, hopefully it was a comfortable millimeter.
Well, it's all psychological, isn't it?
Yeah. So what's the deal? I mean, how much is what airline is this, and how much are they going to charge to recline your seat?
I hate to say it, Mark, but this will never fly. It's never going to happen.
No.
It's a nice stunt, but people are look. The way things work these days, you pay to minimize the abuse, and right now it's already abusive no matter how you look at it, unless you're in the real uber first class section of an international carrier. So it's somewhat immaterial.
All right. So I shouldn't worry about this. I will say, full disclosure, I do recline in Delta One flights to Tokyo, but that's because it doesn't impact anyone. It's just I go
Well,
to
listen, based on the airfare that you're paying for Delta One, you better recline.
I do. It's lovely. You can actually lie flat and sleep, and that was a humble brag there, Peter. In case you missed it, me saying,
"Oh yeah, I got it."
I flew Delta One to Tokyo. Deborah just sent me this story from the BBC. Call for more tourism cash as visitor numbers fall. Are we seeing a decline in tourism, and how are they going to make up that difference?
We've seen a decline in tourism since February. It goes back to immigration policies, deportation, trade wars, and tariffs. We've already lost in the first 8 months of this year $25 billion in revenue from foreign tourism coming to America. And that's before the shutdown, which is costing the travel and tourism industry $1 billion a week in lost revenue.
Wow. That's significant. Is that something that is this just a temporarily lapse, or is this like the new normal when it comes to tourism?
Well, this damage has been going on for quite some time. And by the way, remember, this is revenue you can't recoup. Once it's lost, you can't recover it. That's gone.
Yeah, gone. All right, well, you're gone from Carmel, California. Where are you heading next, Peter?
I fly tomorrow to Manchester in the United Kingdom, and then one of your great connecting flights, Tahiti from Manchester. Good luck.
What? Wait. Say that again?
I'm going from Manchester in the UK to Tahiti.
Oh, so you're not staying in Manchester. You're connecting Manchester.
No. I'm in Manchester for 3 days. Then
All
I'm
right.
trying to connect from Manchester to Tahiti. That's the fun part.
Godspeed, my friend. Godspeed. Peter Greenberg, always a pleasure, my friend.
You got it, Mark.
There you go. Peter Greenberg joins us every other week here on the Mark Aram Show. Invaluable resource. All right, updating the ceasefire peace deal between Israel and Hamas. Jeremy Diamond in Tel Aviv this morning.
Absolutely, and we are continuing to see people flock here to Hostage Square in order to, celebrate this moment together of all of these hostages who will be now returning within the next 72 hours. And we know that timeline has now started because the Israeli military confirmed at noon today that they had completed their withdrawal from parts of Gaza. And once they completed that means that a ceasefire, according to them, is officially in effect, and also that Hamas now has 72 hours to return the hostages, which could put the return of the hostages as late as, but perhaps sooner than, Monday at noon. And that also suggests that President Trump's visit on Monday will coincide quite shortly thereafter or right before the release of those hostages. And perhaps we will see President Trump actually being able to greet some of those hostages. We know, of course, that here in Hostage Square yesterday we saw a lot of American flags in the air, a lot of people thanking and crediting President Trump directly for his role in securing this agreement that is not only going to secure the release of all of the hostages, but according to the president and the mediators, is also ending the war in Gaza once and for all. We are already beginning to see in Gaza how people are reacting to this, not only the celebrations, but as you mentioned, the thousands of people who are beginning to move along Al-Rashid Street, that coastal road in Gaza, to head back to Gaza City. Of course, before this agreement, we saw hundreds of thousands of people who were forced to be displaced from Gaza City as a result of that Israeli military offensive, and now many of them are starting to return home. But so many more pieces to the puzzle remain in the days ahead. The Prime Minister today suggesting for the first time that some of the bodies of those deceased hostages may not be returned immediately alongside the 20 living hostages. The International Committee of the Red Cross have said that they will be assisting in helping to locate and ultimately recover the bodies of hostages that may be under the rubble in parts of the Gaza Strip. And then, of course, there are the next steps to get beyond this first phase of this agreement and actually lead to the kind of final resolution to this 2-year-long war in Gaza. Intense negotiations still happening with Jared Kushner, President Trump's son-in-law, and Steve Witkoff, President Trump's special envoy, continuing to meet with the Israeli Prime Minister, with the Israeli government in order to queue up those next steps.
Jeremy Diamond in Tel Aviv. When we come back after a quick break, we're going to go back to the White House, get the latest on President Trump's plans to head to the region, I believe, on Sunday. We'll get confirmation on that in just a second. Right now, though, we're going to check that Friday morning drive. Always good to hear from the one and only Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Not so good up on the north side perimeter. Crash 285 westbound, the outer loop. New North Side Drive, Powers Ferry Road, exit 22. Looks like 1 to 2 left lanes are blocked there. You're already seeing the brake lights back toward Roswell Road. We're going to keep an eye on that. Still dealing with that construction. I-20 eastbound, before Panola Road, exit 71, heading toward Lithonia. Left lane blocked there. And still seeing some brake lights in the Midtown. 7585 southbound, 17th Street down toward North Avenue. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
It pays to have the WSB radio app. Download it today and get ready for the Blitz.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz. 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000.
$1,000 on WSB.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
Your next chance to win is at 12 p.m.
That is awesome.
From 95.5 WSB.
Download the WSB radio app now.
You've seen them, holiday decorations already up in the stores, trees, wreaths, even the big inflatables. I'm Chris Chandler. Wise Guys Pro Wash keeps my home's exterior looking great, and now my clean home will shine when they put up my holiday lights. They make it simple. Custom design, they provide the lights, install everything, and when the season's over, they pack and store it for me. First-time customers book by October 15th. Mention my name, Chris Chandler, and you'll get $100 off installation. Let Wise Guys Lights brighten your holidays this year.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-ray is eye-opening. At least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the Portfolio X-ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the Portfolio X-ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well, and I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Do you have an unused vehicle sitting in your driveway? Imagine turning it into a new beginning. When you donate your car, truck, or van to Tommy Nobis Center, you're helping people with disabilities get the training and support they need to enter the workforce and build successful careers. Your vehicle donation fuels real change, giving people a chance to achieve independence and purpose. And it's easy. We'll handle everything from pickup to paperwork. Plus, it's tax deductible. Donate today at TommyNobisCenter.org. Make a difference, one vehicle at a time.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month. And ask about a $400 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
Castile Plumbing and Electrical knows the best way to handle that dripping pipe or flickering light isn't just wishing it'll go away on its own. Good news for you. You don't have to think too hard to take care of these issues, thanks to our free, no-obligation plumbing or electrical safety inspection with any paid service. The experts at Castile will fix any small problems before they become big, expensive ones, and even have 0% interest financing available on repairs and replacements. Enough with the wishful thinking. Book today at CastileAir.com.
When it comes to your home, quality is crucial. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus. The Plus means siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. Quality comes first. We have the most experienced exterior craftsmen in the industry.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
come.
I think everyone recognizes this song, right? This is La Donna è mobile. Happy 212th birthday to composer Giuseppe Verdi. That's Pavarotti singing the song. Just trying to class up the joint here, Deborah. Sorry. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. In case you missed it, we have a brand new Nobel Peace Prize winner. She comes from Venezuela, Maria Corina Machado.
I think it'll take me a lot longer to believe what I've just heard. Wow. Well, thank you very much. It's an honor, and I know it's a recognition to our people.
Congrats to her. Earlier in the show, correspondent Rory O'Neill informed us that she was nominated by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. And Deborah, you and I discussed what's President Trump think about that. Let's go to the White House. Elena Trine.
Yeah, look, I mean, a few things. One, there's still so much celebration happening in the White House over the successful negotiations that happened, of course, around this peace deal between Israel and Hamas. That is where their main focus is. But also, of course, coming off of that, you heard the president himself yesterday address this to reporters, this idea that he believes, and he's publicly lobbied for this for many months, if not years now, that he should be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. I can tell you that he always had believed that if he could negotiate a peace deal in the Middle East and also, of course, try to find an end to the war between Russia and Ukraine, that would help his chances of actually earning that much coveted prize that he has always wanted, that prestigious Nobel Peace Prize. Of course, we saw today that they passed over the president once again, and they awarded the prize to Maria Corina Machado. She's Venezuela's main opposition leader. This is what we heard from the White House Communications Director, Stephen Chung, on this morning. He posted on X, quote, President Trump will continue making peace deals, ending wars, and saving lives. He has the heart of a humanitarian, and there will never be anyone like him who can move mountains with the sheer force of his will. He went on to say, the Nobel Committee proved they place politics over peace. Now, one thing I do think we have to be very clear about is that despite what the success of what the president has done and his team has done with this peace deal between Israel and Hamas, the nominations for the Nobel Prize this year, the deadline for that was February 1st. We know that many people had nominated the president on this, including the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Many of them foreign leaders have come to the White House telling the president that they were going to nominate him because it's something he so clearly and publicly wants. But again, so much of what he has done around the world, but particularly when it comes to the Middle East, of course, had not even really gone into effect or had a chance to be negotiated before that deadline was over. And so there's many people who are saying, potentially he could have a shot at this next year. But still, I think the news of this landed with a thud this morning. And then just to get into a little bit, because I know, you showed me with Jeremy that he's going to be talking about this soon too, but this White House is kind of scrambling behind the scenes today to get ready and prepare for the president's trip to the Middle East. We know, as you mentioned, that he's going to be addressing Israeli parliament on Monday. He's also expected to go to Egypt for a signing ceremony, what they're calling the official ceremony, to sign this deal in Egypt. And so a lot of planning around that as well. And so there's still a lot of, feelings of relief and happiness and celebration with what they were able to do with this first phase of that 20-point plan. But the Nobel Peace Prize, something that is evading him once again.
Elena Trine at the White House. So new information, clarity, Deborah, on the Peace Prize. So the nominations were due in February, which was, long before this Israel peace deal went into effect. And President Trump was nominated. The Israeli prime minister did nominate him. And I suspect he will get multiple nominations for 2026 if this ceasefire and peace deal holds. But I don't know the president, but the fact that his Secretary of State nominated the winner, he's got to be a little salty about that. He's got to be a little bit salty. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, nominated the Nobel Peace Prize winner this year, Maria Corina Machado, the Venezuelan opposition leader. I can only imagine President Trump. It's like when I was nominated for the Georgia Radio Hall of Fame. If Longoria nominated someone else, Frank Ski, and then Frank Ski gets in, and I don't. I'd be like, Longoria, what? Yeah, so I can imagine. But, I mean, you got to like his chances in 2026. I know President Trump. Listen, the dude's ended 97 wars in 8 months. 104 wars in 6 months. He'll be nominated next year. And just hope and pray that this Israel-Hamas peace deal will hold tight. All right, news, weather, and traffic in 3. When we come back, updating our top local stories. DeKalb County School Superintendent indicted in Illinois. What? We'll give the details there. And Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Sir
Barry Manilow.
Sir Barry Manilow. Thank you, Deborah. Social media is up and active at Mark Ehrman at WSB Radio.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
So you're losing your hair and you need a simple solution that works, but you want the best. It's Mark Aram here. Modern technology, top-rated physicians. You want something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair's completely redefined hair restoration, from the experience itself to the unmatched results they produce. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, address them all with a simple one-day treatment in a calm, relaxed environment with experienced pros. Advanced Hair has performed tens of thousands of breakthrough advanced FUE treatments, and get this, your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day. No one else in Atlanta can offer the advanced FUE found at Advanced Hair. Fix your hair loss today, starting with your free consultation, and you'll also get $500 off if you move forward. Call 470-660-HAIR. Refine your hairline with the team that's redefined hair restoration. And don't forget to ask about that Advanced Hair Guarantee, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
It's the Love Your Home Minute from TE Certified. Hi, it's Chris Chandler with Josh, the local owner of TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. You know Josh, that is him you see jumping out of the backs of their trucks. Welcome back, Josh. Talk to me about something you did at your house that was a real game changer that helped you love your home.
Indoor air quality. So one of the first things I did to my air conditioners was put in a UV light to capture and kill all the bacteria and things floating through my air conditioning system. I put in a high-end media filter so that would capture any dust and particulate coming through my home. UV lights are awesome. You see them in hospitals, you see them in factories, you see them in places where they make food. It's going to kill any living thing that's passing through your air conditioning.
So if you're in a home with little kids and pets, this is really something to think about.
Absolutely. I've got 3 boys and a dog, and I got a wife I want to keep happy, so I have lots of very nice filters. I have lots of UV lights, and of course I have a humidifier.
Yeah, I actually had UV lights installed at my home from TE, and it has really helped me love my home.
TE Certified. We love your home.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there. Good morning. It is 11:30. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Main Street Auto. Update on the shutdown. House Republicans blaming the financial suffering of federal workers on Democrats, and Democrats blaming Republicans. Speaker Mike Johnson.
You've got millions of American families who will now have to figure out how to make their mortgage, how to cover their rent, pay the car note, keep food on the table, because Democrats, Chuck Schumer and his colleagues in the Senate, are here playing games.
Now, Democrats say that it's the Republicans who refuse to negotiate their demands to reverse Medicaid cuts and expand federal health care subsidies. Your weather for today, sunny, breezy, and cool. Afternoon highs around 71, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. National Guard troops have been patrolling in Memphis, Tennessee for the first time as part of President Trump's federal task force. The deployment comes a day after a federal judge in Illinois had blocked the deployment of troops in the Chicago area for at least 2 weeks. It's unclear just how many Guard members are on the ground there in Memphis. The president's pushing to deploy the National Guard to several U.S. cities. And this just in. Rock and Roll Hall of Famer John Lodge has died. The family of the legendary bassist and singer from the Moody Blues confirming the news of his death with a statement posted on his Facebook page. According to the statement, his death was unexpected. They say that he was peacefully slipped away, surrounded by loved ones, and to the sounds of the Everly Brothers and Buddy Holly, he was 82 years old. Canton police bust up a counterfeit theft ring involving thousands of dollars worth of merchandise from multiple businesses. Officers were called to the Canton Target, took several men into custody for using fake money. A search of their vehicle turned up nearly $2,000 in counterfeit bills, along with drug paraphernalia. It's estimated that they stole over $24,000 worth of goods in several jurisdictions, including Georgia and Florida. And candy prices are up this Halloween. Cocoa prices have more than doubled since last year. Shrinkflation also being seen this year, meaning smaller bags of candy. And when we talk about your money, car loans, more people are falling behind on their car payments. A record 1.7 million cars were repossessed last year, the most since 2009. Higher car prices and interest rates have more buyers stretching their budgets and taking out longer loans. Experian saying that the average interest rate on a used car loan is 12%. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 425 at 45,933. So the Dow's down almost a full percent. NASDAQ's down more than 2%. And the S&P's down almost 1.5% here at 1133. That means it's time for live team coverage of traffic and weather brought to you by Findlay Roofing. Alex Williams, good morning in the 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. And some better news for those in Sandy Springs. Crash was in a couple of left lanes here. Was able to get it off to the right. Everything's back open. 285 westbound, the outer loop, New Northside Drive, exit 22. Some lingering delays back toward Georgia 400, but those will start to improve. Big mess between Cartersville and Emerson. Looks like we've been dealing with the crash 75 southbound. Also been in a work zone below Old Allatoona Road, exit number 283. So you're seeing brake lights back up into Cartersville. Use Highway 41 as an alternate. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly cloudy skies for this afternoon, high 71. An isolated rain shower possible for this evening. Lows tonight in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 76. Sunny skies on Sunday, morning low 53, afternoon high 78.
Partly cloudy and 65 right now in Kennesaw. Buford, you have 63 degrees, and it's 65 in Powder Springs. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
A ceasefire is in place.
President Trump announced Hamas and Israel have agreed to the first phase of a plan.
The hostages are going to be released.
Celebrations are held overnight in the Middle East amid word of a hostage deal.
Israel and Hamas agreed to a ceasefire.
Will it hold?
Huge obstacles remain in these negotiations.
Is a historic peace within reach? Listen often throughout the day.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
Speaking of the peace deal, that's the sound of tens of thousands of people in Gaza starting to walk north. We'll update the Gaza peace deal and our top local stories next on the Mark Arum Show.
By executive order from Rufus, the Findlay Roofing Chief Barking Officer, they're rolling over. Rolling out a $1,000 discount on your Findlay roof replacement. Hey, it's Dave Baker for the only roofer I answer the door for, Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Stop repairing the leaks and dragging your feet. Now is the best time to replace that old, leaky, haunted roof and save 1,000 bones. Findlay has replaced over 65,000 roofs locally. That's no trick. It's just high-quality work, upfront pricing, and exceptional service. Findlay goes the distance. They're the extra effort experts, making sure you have a remarkable roof replacement experience. Findlay also has 0% financing available, and for a limited time, you can save $1,000 on your roof replacement. Hurry! You need to shake on this deal by Halloween. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com.
This is Scott Slade. I had a chance to catch up with my friends at Myland recently, and they were telling me how busy they've been helping homeowners access the equity in their homes. Over the last few weeks, rates have dropped, and people are jumping on the opportunity to refinance and open home equity lines to do long overdue projects or consolidate high-interest debts. Even if another lender has told you they can't help, it's worth it to call my friends at Myland. They have so many different loan programs, low rates, and highly trained experts waiting to help you. It wouldn't make sense to call anyone else. I trust Myland with all my home loans, and you should too. I can't tell you how many testimonials and success stories I've heard from these guys and gals over the years. Do yourself a favor, give them a call. 770-817-2000. 770-817-2000. Online, it's myland.com, spelled it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS and Georgia Residential Mortgage License C148769. Myland's located at 8995 Westside Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
There's no need to be scared of stains in your carpet when you can call Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. It's Patrick, owner of Zerorez. Zerorez cleans without the use of harsh soaps or spooky chemicals, leaving behind clean carpets safe for the entire family. For a limited time, get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129 when you mention WSB. That's right, 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zerorez, it's the right way to clean.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo.
11:37 on the Mark Aram Show. A reminder, sad reminder. Today is the last day of the 5K a day bonus blitz. Your next chance to win $1,000. Again, this is the last day, and I want you to win $1,000. I will give you a keyword coming up in 30 minutes. Pop that keyword into the WSB radio app, and you, dear friend, could win $1,000. Last day of the 5K a day bonus blitz, but you do not have to wait 30 minutes to win. Deborah, what do we have right now?
Right now, it's a pair of tickets to see Barry Manilow at Gas South Arena on January 16th.
All right, 10th day of the government shutdown, so we'll do the 10th caller to Heather at 404-872-0750. 10th caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see Sir Barry Manilow, Gas South Arena, courtesy of the Mark Aram Show and 95.5 WSB. We've been all over the globe this morning, but we started the show off with a really big local story. We had Austin Eller live in studio talking about it. From anger to defiance, there's mixed reaction to the federal indictment of DeKalb County Superintendent.
His former school district in Evanston, Illinois, says it's deeply troubled and angered by the allegations against Dr. Devon Horton. He's accused, along with 3 friends, in a scheme to defraud the district of money and property. Horton's attorney issues a statement saying the allegations have nothing to do with his leadership in DeKalb County, touting his achievements in improving graduation rates, student performance, and teacher recruitment. It goes on to say that Horton is eager to address his case in court so he can return his focus to bettering the lives and education of children. The DeKalb County School Board has placed Horton on administrative leave with pay for now. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
Yeah, I would, crazy story. Again, all the allegations happened not here in DeKalb, but in Illinois. Deborah, any guess what the school superintendent in DeKalb County makes per annum?
Ooh, school super. Teachers don't get paid much, but this is super
Administrator. This is the big boss of the big county.
Say 100.
400,000.
What?
Nearly 400,000.
What, and you can't pay teachers more? Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, he's basically the boss of a big county. I don't think that's an overpay. I think that's that. Again, my dad was a superintendent, so I'm a little
but your wife
there.
is a teacher.
My wife is a teacher. Yeah, so he almost makes $400,000. He will keep getting paid while the indictment plays out. I don't, the legal system it can take a long time. I would imagine he's probably not going to resume that position. I don't know how long his contract was for, but obviously a huge local story. The DeKalb County school superintendent indicted on charges in Illinois. But we'll keep you posted on that. Jennifer Perry, by the way, breaking that story down for us today. This story popped before we got on the air, or after we got on the air. This is a crazy story that I can relate to. New York prosecutors have busted an alleged scheme that sold commercial driver permits to wannabe truckers. CBS's Michael Wallace explains.
Prosecutors say drivers would pay up to $3,000 to have Jamie Middleton of Queens take the required written test for them. She would allegedly wear disguises, even mustaches, as she took the test for at least 10 people. One of her customers was hired as a garbage truck driver on Long Island. In all, 7 people, including DMV employees, have been arrested.
It reminds me of like those SAT scams where you would pay someone to take the SATs for you. Suits, yeah, with the bar exam. Right, Mike, was that his name, Mike?
Yeah, Mike would take all the exams,
there was a similar story when I was growing up. Not similar, but adjacent, regarding the DMV. I can't remember what state it was going on, but it was widely known in college campuses that there was a DMV office, I want to say in New Jersey, where there was a crooked DMV employee, and you could go and give them like $300 in cash. Like you go to the counter at the DMV and he asks for Steve. I don't know if his name is Steve or not. And then Steve comes over, you hand him an envelope with $300 in cash, and he would make you a legitimate New Jersey driver's license with your name on it.
So like a fake but not fake.
Yes. So like if you were 18 years old, you pay Steve $300 at the Nutley, New Jersey DMV office. You give him $300, and he would make you a real New Jersey license with whatever name you wanted on it, whatever, I think. and it would say that you were 21. And he got busted, and a lot of people got in trouble for that. But that's pretty. I don't know if it's funny or not, but a female.
Just dressing up. The
Yes.
story's not funny, but the fact that she would dress up is funny.
Yeah, as a dude, put on, because if you want, like, just say Longoria wanted a truck license, Joseph Andrew Longoria, she'd have to go in as looking like Joseph Andrew Longoria with a fake beard and the cheeks and that $1,000 haircut he's got, and she'd have to dress up as Longoria to take the test. Interesting story there. All right, speaking of cars, we have 3 automotive stories I want to hit real quick, Deborah, starting with fatal crash cities. Obviously, we know traffic and the number of fatalities on Atlanta roads are high, but Atlanta is not the #1 city when it comes to fatal crashes.
Yeah, they did this survey of like worst cities to drive in, and they tested things like blood alcohol contests, speeding, bad driving, and Atlanta does not even crack the top
Good.
25, which I guess is good for us, even
Yes.
though driving we wouldn't agree with that. But yeah, Atlanta not in the top. So your top worst cities with most fatal crashes are Tucson, Arizona.
Really?
I know, right?
Hmm.
Aurora, Colorado, which might be because
Everyone's
they're
high.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How about number 3, Waterbury, Connecticut? Where is that near you?
20 minutes south of me.
Are they bad drivers there?
It's a bad area. What I remember, there's the Amtrak, there's a Metro North station there. So if you wanted to go to New York City, you would take the train from Waterbury to New York City or vice versa. And I remember there was some event, I think my father's retirement party or something that was happening in Connecticut, and I told my buddies, hey, that lived in New York City, to take the Metro North train to Waterbury, and I'd pick you up from the Waterbury train station. And I went and picked them up, and they ran into the car.
What?
They were like, we've never been more scared in our lives.
Of Connecticut?
Of Waterbury. It's not a great area. Yeah, about 20 minutes south of me. So I don't know about the driving. 84 and Route 8 kind of intersect. All right.
What's the third worst in this list here?
That doesn't surprise me.
All right, number 2, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Johnny Knoxville. Okay.
Sure. And number 1 is, I'm kind of not surprised because I've driven around this city too. Number 1 is Memphis, Tennessee.
I've never been to Memphis. I got to go just for
You
the
should go.
barbecue and the blues. Like just to.
And Graceland.
And Graceland.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Waterbury, Connecticut in the news. Send me that story. I'm going to send in my buddy from Waterbury, Justin Kern, who used to live in Atlanta, actually. Yeah, Waterbury. I mean, my friends that lived in New York City were scared when they got off the train in Waterbury, Connecticut. They said it was the shadiest moment of their lives. Yeah, it's not I wouldn't go that far, but it's certainly there's some shady parts. All right, one more automotive story. This as we try to save money, right? Economic times and inflation and budgets are tight. You want your car to last as long as possible. 250,000 miles out of a car is a pretty good number, right? You can get 250K out of a car, you've done okay. What are the cars that most typically will eclipse that 250,000 mile mark?
Yeah, if you're looking to cross that 250 mark, you might want to aim for a Toyota, Lexus, Honda, Acura, or a GMC, which is that what? No, Andrew doesn't drive a GMC.
No.
Those are your top 5. Everything else comes in a little bit lower, so really that's the only American car on there. But the Toyota, Lexus, those have been known to cross 200 easily.
Take note, Jaguar not on that list at all.
It's on the very bottom of the list.
Really?
Yeah, if you look at it, it's like the last from the bottom, but they didn't count your car in it.
Because, knock on wood, for now, my commute is not long at all. I don't think I'll ever get a car to hit 250,000 miles. My Mazda 626 was the closest. I think I got like 150,000 miles. That was a great car.
I have 280 on my truck.
280,000?
Well, I just gave it to my nephew.
Oh,
yeah.
Good job. All right, Deborah's getting started the show for generosity, gifting her nephew her 280,000 mile truck. One more truck story. This, Longoria, you want to pay attention to this. I drove Maya's car. She's out of town, so I drove it to the station today. I noticed when I got out, there was some bird poop on the window. I don't even know who funded this study, but we now know the most pooped on cars. This is just birds, right, Deborah?
Just birds,
yeah.
yes.
All right, so what are the most pooped on cars out there?
I think it came from Ashley Frasca's Green and Growing.
Oh,
she
nice.
does bird segments every once in a while. All right, so your car is not on this list. The Jaguar is not in the top 10. I drive a Ford. That is number 9. Number 5 belongs to Dodge. Number 4 is Nissan.
Are there specific
No, it's
styles?
It's
just branding.
just like it makes overall.
Okay.
Yeah, not that's the specific ones. Number 4 is Nissan. Number 3 is Chevrolet. Number 2, I believe you have number 2. That's a Jeep. Do you still have your Jeep?
I still have my Jeep,
Okay,
yes.
that is the second most
I
pooped
can-
on cars by birds.
I can verify that does attract bird poop.
And number 1, listen up, Longo. Number 1 is a Ram.
Ram, the number 1 pooped on car.
Oh yeah,
in
I
America.
can see
A lot
that,
of
yeah.
bird poop.
There's one in the parking lot that poops on my truck every day.
Is that where I got it? All of a sudden, there's some poop
Yeah, I
on
think
my
they
wife's
hide in
window.
the little cubbies up there.
All right, there you go. Thanks to Ashley and Deborah for the most pooped on cars in these United States of America. Speaking of cars, let's check the volume out on the interstates live with the latest. Alex Williams.
Hey, we got double trouble in Sandy Springs. Mark, crash 285 westbound, the outer loop at Roswell Road, exit 25. 2 cars on the very narrow left shoulder there, so people cautiously getting by those. And once you get past that, you'll slow again from Riverside Drive over to this crash at New Northside Drive, exit 22. They had moved it all to the right. Now they're holding the right lane with that, so it's just really slowing down the ride. Getting over to I-75 up in Bartow County, still on the brake lights. 75 southbound between Cartersville and Emerson with that crash. Below Old Alatoona Road, exit 283. Highway 41, still a good alternate to save you some time there. Traffic brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Hey, Georgia, remember you can play Georgia Lottery games from almost anywhere on any device. Go to galottery.com and click on DigiGames. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Join us Monday for Atlanta's Morning News from 5 to 9 a.m. Monitoring the ceasefire, the president's trip to the Middle East, any new impact from the government shutdown, and team coverage of weather and traffic for Columbus Day when you wake up at 95.5 WSB.
It's the Love Your Home Minute from TE Certified. Hey, it's Chris Chandler with Josh, the local owner of TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And you know him, that's him you see jumping out of the back of their trucks. Josh, something you've done recently to help you love your home.
We recently had the TE HVAC team replace our basement HVAC system with the Daikin Fit. We install a lot of HVAC brands, but the Daikin Fit is my absolute favorite. The system's about half the size of the old one, but it's 40% more efficient, and it's absolutely silent, which is super nice because this one was actually installed outside of our bedroom. It's true variable speed, which means it removes humidity, so as it runs, it actually takes humidity out of the house, and it costs us less money to operate. We install hundreds of systems in Atlanta, and this has been one of our customers' favorite. And so I had to get one in my home, and I absolutely love it.
All right, Josh, that's great. Thank you. I believe a Daikin Fit system from TE will help a lot of our listeners love their home more.
TE certified, we love your home.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
For many of you, it's happening. Your hair's thinning, your crown's disappearing, and maybe hair loss has you feeling your identity is lost altogether. Well, I got good news. It's Advanced Hair's incredible yet simple one-day treatment that starts regrowing your own natural hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. It's Mark Aaron back with you. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly subscriptions. They help retain what you have, but what about regrowing your hair permanently in specific areas? From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to their world-class physicians, it's not maybe your hair will regrow. It's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. You decide how much, how thick, and where. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, and I've seen their results, friends. For your free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts, call 470-660-HAIR. That's 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with low prices in every aisle. Kroger shoppers never compromise. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Canada Dry. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
October is here, and this is a perfect month for home comfort. Dave Baker for Coolray Heating and Cooling. See, in October, it'll still get plenty warm during the day, but it will get cool at night. So with the purchase of a complete carrier system, Coolray's offering up to $2,250 back in rebates and free installation. That's heat, cool, and free installation. Get a jump start on keeping your home comfortable. Book your appointment online today at Coolray.com. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Hey, I am Brant, and her name is Sherry, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine, and we were just praying for her, actually, because she had a major surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is Medishare. That's right.
Of course.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like with Medishare and your healthcare bills?
You know what? It was seamless. And that's such a blessing when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems. And let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in and it's just what you need, it's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. People love Medishare and saving tons of money. The typical family, I'm fond of saying, can save $500 a month.
I am so thankful for Medishare. It's so different, and I mean different in a very, very good way, Brant.
It is a good different. Call right now. They're so easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Hey, it's Shaquille O'Neal. You're listening to the lyric dropping, traffic mopping, Hall of Fame gloating, drive time promoting. This is the Mark Arum Show. Deb Green hit my music.
I might be late to the game. That's, of course, beloved Atlanta resident Shaquille O'Neal. I saw him in a commercial yesterday, Deborah, a TV commercial for J.C. Penney.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
I've seen everything else that he's done.
It's Shaq in a J.C. Penney, and he tosses it to a stand-up comedian inside the J.C. Penney, and it's all about saving money on team gear. I guess you can buy jerseys and hats.
Yeah.
First of all, love Shaq. I didn't know JCPenney was like still fighting the good fight.
They're trying to hold on to
Yeah.
the mall. Yeah, they are.
I used to get my Husky jeans at the JCPenney when I was a kid. Yeah, straight to the Husky aisle for me. I think they did away in this PC environment. I don't think they.
Yeah, you can't have Husky.
You can't have your kid wear Husky jeans like I did. Oh yeah, let's go to the Husky. Anyway, Shaq doing the JCPenney ad. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Congrats to Mary in Smyrna. She won a pair of tickets. See Barry Manilow. Your next chance to win $1,000, 5K day bonus splits right after the noon news. And again, today is the final day of the 5K a day bonus splits. Haven't talked about National Guard at all yet today, so let's break it down. New rules for National Guard in Illinois. Justice Department lawyers argue the troops are there to protect federal agents targeted by agitators claiming there's a danger of rebellion. But the state argued there's no rebellion in Illinois, winning a restraining order on federal troops. ABC's Mark Rivera is in Chicago.
The temporary restraining order governs the behavior of federal agents in the entire Northern District, not just at the Broadview ICE processing facility, where we've seen numerous flare-ups between ICE agents and the public. It limits the indiscriminate use of riot control weapons against peaceful protesters and journalists, and requires nearly all federal agents to have visible identification even when wearing riot gear.
Interesting. That is going to be a big story that plays out through the weekend. So make sure you check in as you drive around this weekend, top and the bottom hours for the latest on the National Guard and any big national, international, and local news. Speaking of international, officials in Ukraine say Kyiv came under major drone and missile attacks overnight, targeting the city's energy infrastructure. Images shared online showed residential buildings on fire as emergency crews responded. BBC's Ian McWilliam has more.
The mayor of Kiev, Vitaly Klitschko, said power and water supplies were disrupted in districts east of the Dnipro River, which flows through the heart of the capital. Online video shows large parts of the city in blackout as explosions flicker against the darkness. The mayor said at least 9 people were injured in the attacks.
I wonder, Deborah, since the world's focus now is on this historic peace deal between Israel and Hamas, if Putin's going to take advantage of this. And it's like, well, they're not paying attention to Russia-Ukraine, so I'm going to amp-ish up. I wonder if that's a possibility. But the peace deal, obviously, the big news, updates throughout the weekend.
Longoria's Fact of the Day.
All right, today's National Handbag Day, and handbags have a long history dating back to ancient Egypt, where early bags were used for carrying supplies. They were originally a male accessory, with women carrying small decorative purses. The modern handbag became a fashion staple in the late 19th century, and the term handbag itself only became popular in the late 1800s.
I wonder, what did they call it in the Seinfeld episode? European carry-all.
Yeah.
Is there ever going to be a point where men in America just carry handbags like they do in Europe?
I mean, you see messenger bags and computer bags, right?
I got to give, Yamamoto's holding that, what is it, the fanny pack? He still wears those every day. The Merce, yeah. You know what I'm going to do? I'm glad you reminded that. So Maya's out of town. She's not listening. I'm going to go to Queenie's consignment shop on La Vista and grab Maya
Find a handbag?
A handbag.
That's
on
nice.
National Handbag
Nice.
Day. Yeah, thanks, Longoria.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Aram star of the show?
Oh, we had a lot of them. Where's my stinking bell? Austin Eller joined us live on the indictment of DeKalb County school superintendent. Really big national story there. Natalie Brand joined us live in D.C. Political analyst Bill Crane live on the government shutdown. Travel expert Peter Greenberg joined us live. Let's see. Stephen Portnoy from ABC News. Rory O'Neill on the Nobel Peace Prize winner. Chip Canales making his debut doing Traffic in the Mark Aram Show. I, of course, messed up the toss to him at 9:18, so I am out of the running for star of the show. But Deborah, Longoria, and Heather, you all get them. Good job. Am I forgetting anyone, Deborah? I usually forget at least one person.
Vinny?
No. Vinny's.
He came in.
He did come in. All right.
Day.
We weren't doing pity stars this year.
Pity
Look
stars.
what happened last year.
That's how Purnell wound up winning. Thanks, Longoria. All right, obviously some big stories we're going to cover. Eric Erickson's coming up next. Right after the new news, I am going to give you a keyword 5K day bonus blitz. Again, this is the last day of the bonus blitz, so make sure you get that keyword in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to be active on social media.